All right, everybody. It is Joker from Players Wanted, and we have some special treats for you all tonight. So, first and foremost, I want to welcome in Papa, the man, the myth, the man of the shortest tattoo but biggest heart, Greg Papa Reese from Dead End Outfitters, also joining us right now, who slid in at the very last second. Let me introduce Steve from SS Airsoft. How you doing tonight, Steve?
What's up, everybody?
How you doing?
Steve, I did not think you were going to show up tonight. I didn't hear anything back.
Boy, I just walked through the door. I saw your email, and I'm like, I run two businesses. So Tuesday,
Yeah.
I'm at my other business. So I
Well,
caught you last second.
you did catch me last second. So tonight we're going to be talking quite a bit about SS Airsoft. I'm going to be going back and forth. We're actually using a new streaming platform tonight, which is called Melon. So it's going to be interesting because there's some actually cool features here, some features we don't know about. So we're going to try some stuff. Like there is a lovely little.
I'm going to try to adjust my camera because it looks like I'm looking down.
Top right corner is the chat button too, by the way. I just noticed it, but yeah. So.
We have all sorts of little things we could do now. So, gentlemen, both of you, thank you for coming on. Sin, I don't know where he is. He's supposed to be here. I can see that we're just looking at a wall here. Yes, we can see the YouTube.
Yes, we can. Yeah.
Comments, Tyler. So Papa decided to come on for later on in the show. He's going to talk quite a bit about, I'm sure, his event that's coming up. But let's go ahead and just swap this around here real quick and have Steve come up here. If you guys don't know, Steve runs SS Airsoft in Atlanta, Georgia. For those of you that have been here quite a bit, you've heard us talk a lot about SS Airsoft. That it is one of the best theme fields that we've seen across the country. Well, it is the best theme field that we've seen across the country so far. There might be some other ones out there. We just haven't found them yet, especially for indoor. But I wanted to point out a couple things that I have to go through. The community that you build there is especially in the Georgia area, is probably second to none. The only other person I see build a community like you do is the actual man that's right down here. Papa, you guys both have some really similar mentalities when it comes down to, your players, making sure players are treated right, no cussing, no yelling, interacting with the things. But I'm going to download two things as you're going. But if you want, go ahead and tell a little bit more about your store and everything while I pull these two videos up.
Well, first off, thanks for the compliment. Building a community, especially around this sport that is this finicky, is really tough. And I think I do have a no nonsense, no BS policy around my shop. I mean, look, we work day in and day out. Like I said, I have another business. Well, I'm working most of the time, 7 days a week. And if you get some miserable players come in, they make things miserable for everybody. So I kind of have a no nonsense policy. It's time for you to go. If you can't play with everybody else and have fun and get along, then yeah, we do that. And I get a reputation for a hard ass about that by a lot of kids, and a lot of kids who don't like rules don't necessarily like SF. But I'm here to cater to the masses and make sure everybody has fun. I consider that myself, our job. I've always kind of considered us more like a theme park. So we've got to be able to get the masses of people in and out and effectively and make sure they're getting their money's worth. So we don't play around with some things. Like we don't wait on people when we get in the tent. It's time to brief and get in the game. We have everything run on a time schedule, which I really haven't seen a lot of other fields do. And
No,
again,
and
masses to make sure you get enough games to make sure things are running.
I want to tell you that right now. So off the get go, when your timer that you have, it's all computer generated. So you guys are going through and you're running them. I go to fields where sometimes it's like, okay, the next game's supposed to start in 8 minutes and I might push to 10. No, you see the timer going down and your guys are getting the people to go right in, right away. What is it, a 5-minute cooldown?
It's a 5-minute cooldown. We actually fudged that a little bit. My timer's actually set on 6 minutes. So it gives you guys a minute to get off that field, and then a 5-minute timer starts. But it tells you it's 5 minutes, but it's actually 6 minutes. And you can see the countdown from the 5-minute time. And at the 5-minute mark, I mean, listen, the referees are a little more relaxed than Big Boy here. At 5 minutes, I shut the door and the ride's leaving. If you're not in there, you're not riding the ride. That's the way I look at it. But they'll give people a few more seconds than I normally would. But it's about like, look, there's usually 100 people sitting there, and I'm not going to let one guy hold that up.
Right.
Yeah. And you do have you do have some like kind of unique rules that are a little bit different from other fields. Instead of like what everybody would say would be the bang out rule, instead you have surrender, which sometimes throws off guys like me. And
let's talk about that because I get a lot of grief for that.
Well,
I told you that my job is to cater to the masses here, and that's what I do. And there's one thing that I know in the world, and you guys know too, except I'm the only one left out with Chinese food here tonight, I guess.
So
these guys one of the Chinese
Sushi Tuesday. Tuesday.
There's usually a theme that happens here where we have sushi every Tuesday night whenever we stream, and that's part of the thing that goes on. I'm actually breaking that myself. I'm getting pizza because our pizza place that we wanted to eat yesterday, for some reason, decided to start closing Mondays. So I promised the wife, like, look, I want to tell you all, it's one of those things.
Like heresy to me, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Look, no, it's called avoiding divorce. And let me show you the reason why. Come here. Loki, come here. Why there was almost a divorce in my house. Come on, up. Come on, up.
Oh, I heard about this.
All I know is I haven't been here in like 2 years, and I still showed up with sushi. That's all I'm saying.
This right here is Loki. She is a 9-month-old Great Dane puppy that we picked up on our trip up there without telling the wife. So I came home with not only a dog, but the one breed of dog she told me I'm not allowed to have. Luckily, this dog is so awesome. Went up there and said, "That's the person I need to make happy." And she was all up on her. So all up on my wife. So this is, she's already, she's like 5'5". But that gave perfect amount of time. I think now we have all the videos loaded up. Let's see. Yeah, they are cool.
Real quick. And
let's talk about that.
And there's one reason I call it a surrender rule, because what I tell the players to do when they're hit is to throw their hands up in the air, because I don't care what language you speak, where you're from. This is universal. So I give up. I surrender. Right. So that's when we have a surrender rule. When I say surrender, that's universal for everybody knows what that means.
Yeah. The only thing that it's different on is that most people know bang. Like, I don't mind having a 10-foot bang out rule. The only downside is that your field, as tight as it is, Sin, your mic is picking up a lot of stuff. Yeah, like that. Your surrender rule is the field's just real short. So I think some people try to take advantage of that, and a lot of people don't have any sort of mercy's not the right rule. Understanding that, like somebody for me who comes from Miami, there's no There is no minimum engagement distance. I come around a corner and I'm saying surrender, but I accidentally fire because it's just muscle memory. I apologize, and they still get mad. Now, on Saturday, it was a different story because we had guys from all over. You had guys coming from, what was it, Illinois?
I think they're from Missouri or something, right? Michigan.
No, I think it was Michigan because they go to crap. It's Motor City Airsoft is where where they were from. So,
And that's,
but
that's typical for us. Every weekend, we always have somebody from out of town.
yeah, and that's the cool thing about it is you're drawing a lot of people in. So, the bang out rule, I'm not really against. It's just a matter of the phrasing was just it takes a little bit of adjustment, a game or two, maybe 10, or maybe like a year's worth of coming there instead of saying bang bang. But I want to point out one thing that I got to witness that I thought was really cool, and I think I told you this before. I recorded it. You came in for the second to last game of the night. The last game of the night is a melee game, which I haven't clipped any of it. Today's been hectic, but this was actually really cool for what we saw. So, and again, this is the first time we're using this feature, guys. So let's see how this.
Hey, you know how to work? You know how to work hard? You know how to be good? You know how to show up on time? All right.
That was kind of cool watching you hire a guy right there on the spot.
Oh, is that what happened? I didn't hear a thing.
It blacked out for you guys?
I couldn't hear it.
Okay.
I saw it, but I couldn't hear it.
The only thing I can see is, damn, I need to go on a diet.
Well, pretty much your hiring process was spot on. I mean, you're obviously looking for work inside of the at your field in the Atlanta area, and you had a kid that I don't know all the circumstance that happened from a player perspective, sitting there waiting for the game to go. This ref introduces this kid that says he wants to work for you, and your criteria was real simple, which we need to get back to. You ready to? Can you show up on time? Are you ready to work hard? Do you do what you're told? Cool. Let's get to work. So, since we're on that subject, what positions are you hiring for?
Well, we've been really growing on the online sales side. Like, it has taken off way past the point that I ever thought that I could handle or SS could handle. And it has done fantastic for us. You know, we got pushed into online sales with COVID. They actually shut us down for 8 weeks. I had just had surgery on my arm. So I'm like, what am I going to do? So basically, my manager at the time, I said, look, you know, they told us we got to shut down, but they didn't say anything about curbside pickup. So if you want to stay there and work, I'll keep paying you. And we'll put stuff on sale, and people can pull up and you can put it in the back of their car and they can go home and play airsoft. And he's like, all right, let's give it a shot. Well, he did that, and I stayed home for 12 hours a day for all those days and built a website. So, you know, we kind of got pushed into online sales just by circumstance, and it's been the best thing that probably ever happened to us. So we're hiring somebody full-time for our warehouse now. We used to have a guy and he left, but we need somebody full-time for our warehouse. We need somebody full-time just to run Shopify. We definitely need some good, strong referees because, you know, things are fast and dynamic out on the field. So we need some people that can pick up and catch on that. And we're looking for some salespeople for the front that really understand airsoft and sales, because there's a difference between knowing the equipment, and it's easy to find a lot of people who love airsoft and they can tell you what they think about this, but the whole different thing to sell something.
Oh yeah,
you're preaching to the choir with this guy right here. So Steve, you might not know Papa, but he runs Dead End Outfitters down in South Florida. He's the one that does those D-hop barrels I told you about. That's him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's sorry, I'm just saving another thing over so I can put it up on the stream too in just a few minutes.
You multitasking live? What? No, never.
You can shut your pie hole, sir. Okay.
I'm not over there. You were about to point.
I was like, he's usually right there. But some of the cool things that I saw was like with your staff, and I'm not used to it. This is me not used to it. Like most of the fields I go to, if I have a problem on the field, whatever, it's like whatever. I go out and tell the admin or ref, and they go, and then your guys actually say, "Wait, you got it on camera?" I'm like, "Yeah, show me the footage," and I'm like, "Okay," because most of the time, most people don't want to see it. They don't want to see one perspective. But I love the fact that your refs and yourself are very proactive. If you see somebody problematic on at your site, you kick them off. And I think we need more of that. And the video I'm actually saving right now is actually the video of the entire store, so we could show all the cool stuff you have. You have like Greg, you have a large selection of stuff that caters to it looks like has the high kappas, HPA setups, and all that. But when you're walking around, you have everything on the wall. Yeah,
We lost all that last audio.
Yeah, you got cut out.
Well,
All I heard was I like Greg in large, and then I got confused because you said Greg in large.
He likes when I'm enlarged, which seldom happens. I mean, come on, let's be honest.
Okay, so yeah, Greg and large don't match up whatsoever. Yeah. But what I say, you cater to a large audience. Now you have a lot of stuff that you focus on HPA and high kappa builds and all that, with a lot of custom builds, while Greg focuses a lot on AEG builds and stuff like that. But both of you guys have a wide selection of stuff on your wall, which is absolutely fantastic. That I could walk in, coming from a Milsim mentality, AEG mentality, and I can go up there and get something off the wall for me at your shop. And then Tinker, who is now 100% going into HPA Master Race here, will go in there and has everything that he could possibly get and more. And he went out into the parking lot, rebuilt his high kappa, which is also absolutely fantastic. So, and now you guys are doing a whole new custom build thing, aren't you, Steve? You have like a
like, I'll be honest, I got into the custom build stuff because, one, when you have a store, and two, when you have online, I was trying to figure out, what makes my brownie different than everybody else's brownie. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to go into, I personally think a high cap is beautiful and all these parts are cool and they're neat. And I come basically from an engineering background. So to see the colors and the milled aluminum and all that stuff, I love. So, and the fact that you can make something different than everybody else has is completely my game. When I first got into airsoft, and even with my indoor, it was all still Milsim. Then they just called it airsoft. There wasn't this divide between Milsim and Speedsoft. Then we were playing airsoft, right?
I think Steve and I just became best friends.
Yeah, my love back then when we first started was like, I wanted a Magpul counter, I wanted a rail counter, I wanted a body counter. You know what I mean? Now all that stuff has gone away. You don't get to the point now where all the Mad Bull bodies that were awesome are gone. All the rails are gone. I used to love being able to come in and say, look, we're going to build you a gun so it's different than everybody else's gun, and that's kind of faded away a lot. With the guns are actually so damn good now, you don't have to do all that stuff. You might put an interval in a gun and a better motor, and you're there, unless you want to rip it apart and go straight on gate tighten and all that stuff. But the guns come pretty well built now.
I feel called out right now.
So the funny thing is what Papa was saying, it's actually true. It's like Steve and Papa both have come from very similar backgrounds with the stuff that you guys are doing, because he comes from an engineering background as well. You guys both have inside of your shops 3D printer set up and running and all that. So, but there is something that I did really want to see. Now, sorry if I'm throwing everybody off by tossing all these things around. I really am trying to see just how this system is set up. So I apologize if it's throwing people. Stop that.
You can also click and drag the windows if you didn't know.
Yeah.
Well, the news
all right.
Have some sushi delivered over here for me.
I mean, I would have if you weren't late. Scott told me to tell you hi, Steve.
Oh, hello.
Sin, he was actually on time.
I don't want to hear about it.
You were the one that was late.
I was not late. I made an entrance.
Yeah, sure. Anyways, there was another cool thing that you did that I really did appreciate as a player watching, Steve, is that at this end game, which I've only seen one other person do, which is the little man over here. is give the appreciation to not only your customers but also your employees.
Hold on. A lot of you know who I am. I'm the owner. Thank you for coming out today. I hope you have a good time. Can we give the guys in the orange a round of applause that have been working hard? One last thing I want to say. I know you guys could win anywhere today to have fun, and you chose us. So that I appreciate you for, and I hope we delivered. And if you guys need anything, let us know. Thank you for coming out and seeing us.
That was actually really cool.
Lagged out on us again.
You know what? I need to have a. You want to take her out? Go ahead. Take her.
I need to preload it or something.
It was preloaded. It's already, all of them are already preloaded. They're already saved up there. That's why I stopped talking. Like when I was saying, I'm getting it ready on the site. It's probably just a conversation I'm going to have with the internet company, because I'm supposed to have gig service and I should not be having these problems at all.
Well, I could probably go over to, like, I try to almost once every day just get out and thank the customers for coming into SS, because, you know, the customers are the business, and that's what makes you a business. And on a Saturday, they can choose to go anywhere they feel fit to go, and they can do anything that they want to do with their Saturday. And the fact that they chose us to entrust with their fun, I hope we deliver on that. And, you know, the one line I didn't put in that I usually put in is, look, you know, with all the customers, SS is a great business to have, and it's a fun place. But as soon as all the customers walk out the door and we turn off the lights and walk away, the only thing I really have in my hands is a big building with some pretty cool stuff in it. It's not a business. So the business is the customers.
And the customers you have out there you've trained your customers well. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you have trained a lot of your customers well. When they come in there really isn't a lot of screwery. And what I say that is by contrast, there's another field in your area that is in a mall.
That's usually where they end up when I kick them out.
Yes. And, you know, I'm not usually in the habit of trashing like another field or anything else. But, you know, we decided, what the heck? Oh, sorry. Somebody's like, I'm sorry. We try to always keep up and engage with our players there. Papa's in heaven, like at amusement parks, wall destroyer mentality. Anyways, I go to this field and I decide, you know what? Let me see how it's going to be, to see whether or not I'm going to play. All right, because they were going to do an 8 to midnight game or whatever. And Tinker and I didn't have any else place to go. We're going to be spending a night at a hotel in Atlanta anyway. So we went over there and we're outside watching it, because it's literally inside of a regular mall, like any mall that you see across America. And
which is right. It's scary to think that you're going to carry these replicas into a mall.
And it does. And it was amazing, like this going in there. And I was like, let's just see how bad this is going to be. And the games, first off, like when you're talking about timers, oh my God, it was like the first game took 10 minutes to start. And they go, and the only thing you see them going is all these, like, first off, you had 2 kids that were up on top of the obstacles. Now we're going to go over this field in depth on another day, like probably next Tuesday, after our Rev 12 AAR. But they were sitting on top of obstacles, and I'm like, because the only thing you see is a pair of shoes hanging out. I was like, what the hell is that? I was like, and Tinker goes, that's somebody sitting on it. I was like, what? And then watching these guys almost go simulate full auto, doing the whole feathering, not on the field before the game starts, with people shooting guns without their iPro on. And I'm like, wow. And it's just like, it was the wild, wild west of airsoft, and especially in Atlanta. And then now the obstacles weren't the greatest, but you know, whatever. It's a matter of seeing just that alone. I was like, yeah, I'm not playing. Now I did go inside and I did record. I did live stream, and on the live stream we had a bunch of people going WTF from what they were seeing on the live. And it's like, there's only so much I could do. There, comparatively store-wise, there was almost nothing inside that store to purchase that actually had any sort of interest for me as a player. So it was there was a huge contrast thing there. But again, the appreciation that you had for not only your reps but your players, because they did another option to go to that day, and it's almost better that they came to your place because your place is at least safer. But it's also a hell of a lot better prepared, set up, and everything else. So we really appreciate SS Airsoft being in the Atlanta area because you guys bring some really cool stuff there. So
I appreciate you saying that. And, I kind of tell that to a lot of people. We have players that have played to us a long time, and sometimes it takes them going to another field to understand how hard that we do try, because we can't be perfect. We can't please everybody. We try our hardest. We have a lot of rules, and some people don't like rules, but the rules are there, almost like the same rules on the streets nowadays, right? The rules are there for the bad people. They're not there for the good people. So we have to, as we learn our lessons in business, we've got to put more and more rules in because they find new and new things to do that are just crazy.
boy, do they ever. Boy, did they ever.
Yeah, I mean, first off, when I started, I believe I was the first person that I know of that even required barrel socks. When I started this business 13 years ago, that was one of my things. Like, we played at some of those places, and I started SS because my son, he's 10 years old. He wanted an airsoft gun. I've never seen one, never held one. So I went to another store that was here in Atlanta and bought him a gun. And, he's playing around with it. I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool. Next thing I know, his friends are playing with it. And then, he wanted to go to some of these places and play. So I went with him because I just did everything my son did. I did it with him. That was my rule as a father. Like, I never want him to turn around and not see me on his back somewhere.
Man, that sounds familiar.
Very, very, very familiar. Very familiar.
If he rides skateboards, I was riding skateboards. If he rode bikes, I was riding bikes. If he was standing on his head in the front yard, you see Big Dad out there standing on his head. I mean, it's just what I did, right?
Greg, you got to realize, there's a difference between you and Steve, though. He could get on the same roller coasters as his kids.
Is that right? We already had a roller coaster comment once. Okay. All right.
So yeah, Steve, when I built SS and designed it, it was always around safety in my head because my son, I knew he was going to be there with me just about every weekend. And I saw a lot of these things in these other fields were and we're not doing that. I was like, I can't believe this. And one of those is shooting without a mask on. I mean, basically, we always tell our kids, we have one rule here that's 100% rule. If you're on that field, mask is on your face. And if it's not, you're out of here. I just don't play around with certain things. And, every once in a while, somebody will sneak by without a barrel sock. We most part catch almost everything. So, yeah, I mean, we just put all the safety issues in play. And I'm knocking on wood here. We basically have a 100% record in 13 years. So it pays.
Yeah, and it is really funny because, like I said, like the comparison between you and Greg, is what I've been showing. It is very much there because you guys both have the same mentality and everything else, especially when it comes to the player base and the people that are around there. Which is why I like coming up to your field. I really do. I make an 8-hour trip to come to SS to sit there and just to sling BBs. Now, I wish I played more on Saturday. I played more on Saturday, but I did blow a tire on the trip. And I had to get that fixed before we went back home because there's not a chance in hell we're going to be sitting on the side of the road without a tire there. But Tinker did play. Now, Tinker's also an idiot. He went home with his mask that had the GoPro, that had the SD card, and he didn't send me the stuff over. I have a lot of video on myself, but we're going to be cutting a lot of stuff together. Now, the other cool thing you have is a lot of different modes of play, which I love. Every game is different that you go through. Like we played Oddball, and Oddball, you have to take a ball that's in the center, you put it inside of the enemy's jail. Everybody has or bank, and everybody has 5 lives total, right? 4 respawns.
Yep. Well, we change up the lives all the time.
So that was like a really cool thing. So literally at the start of the game, I just went right to the center, grabbed it, and I just ran right to the place, threw it inside, and said, "I'm done." But on a whole, like I said, I cannot really stress this how good of a field that SS Airsoft is. Hopefully soon you have your other dream come through where it gets bigger. That's the only thing I want is I want it bigger. um, Stu, shut up. Shut up, Stu.
Oh God, what did I miss?
You know,
Don't you dip.
at the shop, I actually have
Wow.
a jar.
Yeah, not.
I actually have a jar that we call short change, and it's for people that want to make short jokes, but they're not original, they're not funny, or you just tried way too hard. Stu, you would be sending my son through college, just so you know.
To be fair, it wouldn't be the first time in Stu's life he's managed to disappoint an entire group of people.
So, people can get it.
There goes Joker's connection again. You're back.
Already. I'm gonna have a really harsh conversation with Comcast tomorrow. I'm gonna show a video of the shop. Let's see how much of this gets through.
It's not over. Oh my God. I told you. Yeah. Actually sold that. So you did mention I that will be distance. Yeah, it comes. It'll be just like that.
For some reason, that got real jittery, and it's also zoomed in, probably because it was on. I took it as the thing. If you guys want to see it,
I
it's
didn't even
actually.
see one airsoft gun on that.
It starts off with going from the.
I saw it all. You didn't get to see any of it, Steve?
I saw jelly ball
showing
gun.
up clear. It's showing up clear and smooth on screen, by the way.
Okay, good. That's great. We actually have this full video up already on TikTok and YouTube where I do the pan through. I go through each good display case. The
You have it up on
customization.
TikTok? You really want to get booted again?
No.
Oh,
No. I got a
not
button
live.
prepared just for that, just for Joker. There it is.
You know, I should never have given you the ability to put anything up on screen. I'm just saying. I don't like this new system already.
You don't even know if he's doing it.
Oh, I'm paying attention. One cool thing that we have now, though, is we have stuff like this where we can do cheers.
He wanted his own soundboard because he got tired of me doing this.
I could do. Look, shut up with your sad trombone, okay? So what's some of the next couple of really cool things you got coming out, Steve, and like the next like month or so that people should be looking forward to besides your custom high kappa builds? What else you got coming along?
Well, I'm pushing into some custom HPA builds. I guess I'm gonna have to talk to Papa about maybe doing me some custom AEG builds because I want to get back into that. And you know, I'm just trying to broaden my horizons again to make my brownie different than everybody else's. I don't like playing in the same sandbox everybody else plays in because there's no reason. So yes, I have to sell all the typical things that everybody sells, but I'm always looking to be innovative, looking for fresh, looking for new. All my dealers know that I'm the guy. Like I want the new stuff. I want it first. That's what I do. And I'm looking to expand my social media team. We're working right now with US Airsoft and C7 Viper, and I just want to expand that a little bit over to the West Coast. See if I can find some other people. It kind of sucks that we're in a sport where it's basically being throttled and killed on all four corners by all social media. But you know, I kind of want to build me a social media team and have their help to broaden my horizons.
Yeah,
because you know, you running a business, it's hard to keep up with every little thing that's happening in airsoft. I can't even watch social media because I have so much work to do that I can't really scroll through it So I'm not seeing what's new and hot unless somebody's bringing it to me. So I'm always asking people when they're walking in, hey, what's new? What's cool? What are you looking for? Because I can't be that guy anymore. There's too much for me to do.
I love the amount of that sort of mentality that you're bringing new stuff in that what the players are looking for. Um, and that just shows again another level of appreciation that you not only have for the sport but also for your store and the player base there, because there's always that thing that you always want. All right, you know, you get to a point in your shop like if like people come in and buy everything of that one thing everybody wanted and that's it, and then it says fees, and how else are you gonna make sure the shop stays up and goes? So of course, hey, here's the newest of the new. And you were the first person I actually saw to have the G&G ARP 556 2.0 out there, and I was drooling over that thing. I love it. I was playing with it. I meant to play with it at when I was there on Saturday. I didn't get an opportunity to, but it's stuff like that. Papa does the same thing. He goes through and tries to find what just that? What was that?
That was you trying to.
You lost signal again.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna have it.
It's like it's Joker. We got to censor him.
Sorry, you guys both. I mean, you guys both try to bring the new stuff out there to get attention, and sometimes that's what it takes. Like walking in, I walk into your shop. Even Tinker was like, "It's like a kid in a candy store." It's like, here, just take my paycheck, because you have again variety, and that's the awesome thing. Like, the guys from Michigan, most of them were speedy boys. But then you also had some other guys there that came from another state as well that were like straight up milsim. And when they all walked out there, you have something for everybody in your shop, and I applaud that, because they have too many shops now that are focused only for one thing or one brand or one distributor, and that sucks for the players because we're stuck with whatever.
Oh yeah.
As a field / store owner, there's very few things, because I've been in it so long and it's so intense at this point because we've been growing so fast that excite me. And one of the things somehow that triggers me and excites me a little bit is when somebody walks through the door and they just go, wow, look at all that. And when they come up and see my gun wall sitting up there, I don't know how many hundreds of guns are on there and pistols everywhere. When they come in and they just go, wow, then that's when it affects my heart. And I'm like, yes, that's the kind of response I want when somebody walks through the door. I want them to be amazed at what they see. And I don't know if you notice this or not, but when you come into my store, all the guns are straight. They're in a clean line, and the lines run all the way across the wall. All the pistols better look is the same and sitting in the counter all on the same angle. Like, I like things to be so. When you walk in, it needs to look like absolute perfection to me.
Sorry, all I can see is my head with Steve showing up before open with a white glove. Just
Well,
boys.
It's funny because I brought each time I come up with the SNS, I bring a couple extra people with us. The first time I came up there, I think I came by myself, and I was just stopping back from a trip, and I was like, oh, I got to bring the boys up. So the first time I came up, we do what we call trifecta runs. We do 3 fields, 3 states in 3 days. And the first time I came up there, I brought 6 people with me, and we come rocking in, and they're all like, everybody heard the stories about, oh, it's a small field, but when you get on there, you have a lot of lanes for a small field, and we really should probably stop saying small. That theme makes it look big. It really does. And when I say like,
let it go, Virtue.
Stop.
Just let it go. Let him continue on.
He has the power to bring himself back in now. Evidently, it's only half the effect. But when we came through there, you have so many awesome lines, and the level of detail that you put into your field is absolutely amazing. Your fans look like Apache helicopters. You have 2 mocked up tanks on the field. Is that actually an actual Jeep on the field?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a red Jeep that I actually bought out of somebody's yard at one point. and we painted it up to look like a military Jeep. It's gutted. They fire department don't want you to have any real stuff in there. So we took all the motor, transmission, brakes, anything with fluids in it. It's all gone. We actually pushed that Jeep around the field. That's how light it is.
Thank you. No, I really mean this. Thank you. We did a review. It was like the top 10 fields a while back, and we were talking about. Somebody asked about the worst fields or things we saw. There are so many fields I have been to that literally they leave the glass in, the engine in. There's still gas in the tank, and they just park them on their field. And it is a. Thank you.
I don't understand that. And, that kind of goes back to when you were talking about the other field and basically being no rules and, people shooting without their glasses on. I mean, like, look, we're all in what I'm going to call a finicky sport that I always feel is like on the ragged edge of somebody doing something stupid to affect all of our livelihoods. And when other fields are so lackadaisical and so many things happen, we've all been pretty lucky that nothing bad has happened. I feel that way. And I hate to even say that out loud, but like, it's our job to be better.
Yeah. And that's what we really try to, like, when we go out to a field, like Sin and I have been out to several fields together. And when we see something screwed up, we say something. Like when I came up to, when I was at your field, we saw an imbalance of player base when we were there on Saturday. It happens, you don't know who's going to play. People say, all right, HPA guys raging, you guys divide the HPA up, but there's also sometimes a player differential even with AEGs. And we weren't upset about it. We're just like, hey, for your rental sake, you might want to split this one team in half or bring these other guys over just to balance out a little bit. We'll continue to put the work in to make sure they have fun, but nobody wants to be spawn trapped, right? So, I mean, your staff took it to heart and they're like, okay, cool. Who do you think we should move? And I was like, well, there's these two big groups that are not associated with each other, but why don't we just have them go against each other essentially? Cool. And that's what happened. And it balanced out the play real quickly. I can't tell you how many fields I went to and they're like, you're not an admin here. I was like, okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's been times where we just left, depending on the response. It's not safe. I don't feel comfortable. I'm out. Like, I've left fields that have invited me out.
So let me ask you this. Why? If my referees didn't do that, I would be dumbfounded. And I'm not going to say we're perfect and we fix every situation, but I talk to my referees and I tell them, I literally tell my referees, in my opinion, you're not a referee. You're the fun police. These people are here to have fun. Your job is to police that and make sure that happens. So part of that is nobody likes to play and be on a losing team every time. The other part of that is, I don't care. It makes a lot of teams mad. I'll have teams, man, we're all buddies. We all want to play on the same side. Well, that can't happen. We've got to split these up based on skill level. It's got to be fair. They should be watching. Blue team wins too many times. Let's divvy this up, change it up. So, I mean, I think it's our job.
That's a great one right there.
How other fields would not do that.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he said, can we talk about how I feel like Sin is somehow a government hiding with all the location he's at, and now he's in a bunker hideout? You're absolutely right. So at MA, a lot of times it's the team that's being dominated is the one that complains. So it's more like complaining instead of actually, whatever. So at MA, there's more than once that we've walked up and said, hey, give us all the rentals. The four of us can be able to easily handle the other side. So your rentals will have fun and we'll be able to do what we do. Now that normally pisses off the people that we just insulted by saying, oh, you think the four of us could take out us 15? Yeah, but that's beside the point. It's like, make it fun. But we also had to have our team split in half more than once where we had to play against each other because we know all the lanes. We know how to play. We're fast. And we also have D-hop barrels inside of our guns so we can shoot from one end of the field to the other. Shameless plug.
And thank you for that.
But the reality is that we've had to split up. So in some of these fields, it's just like some of the guys refuse to split or switch sides, and then they have walking off the field instead of doing it. I was like, really, you're that much in your own head. But again, it goes to you training your customer base, and that's what you've done. You've trained them a lot. I mean, walking on there, you even have me saying, like, you don't like cussing inside your store, which is totally acceptable. I walked in and that one day I was like, man, shit, oh fuck, shit, oh, it was like all like, I'm sorry, and I keep apologizing when I'm there because I'm trying to respect the wishes of your field, which is totally acceptable and all that. But again, on the field, you don't have a lot of people cursing, except the excited utterance of being shot, and they're like, "Ow, blank," you know, and raising their hand. There's not a lot of yelling or screaming or anything going on. So I know, Stu. That's what I thought too.
At the end of the day, when I'm talking about all this stuff and the rules and how it's our job or whatever, but at the end of the day, mom chooses to bring their kid there and leave them in my hands. So I do take that serious, and look, I've heard a lot of flack by a lot of people. Too many rules, too much of this, too much of that, whatever, and rentals. Oh, I'm gonna go shoot me some rentals and do all that. But these kids are the absolute future of the sport. I mean, I can't tell you how many people on the street or mill simmers have called me nothing but a bunch of kids, and it's kiddie ranch, and it's a daycare, and it's that. Well, fine, if that's how they want to label SS, I'll take that label, because yes,
Yeah.
I do cater to the kids. The kids are the one coming there, and when they leave, they're going, "Thank you for having this place. I had such a good time," and they're laughing and they're sweating, and you can tell they just walked off the playground. And usually it's the adults, the one causing the problems. Excuse me, but that's the truth, because they have ego. Kids aren't playing with ego; they're playing to have fun.
Exactly.
And I cater to that. They are the future for all of us. This is kind of a kid's sport, It's kind of like something inside of a young boy at 10 years old goes off and he wants a toy gun. It's just part of life. It's what happens.
We're a bunch of adults playing with toy guns, dressing up like soldiers. Real quick, Ryan Ezekiel, we're doing great. We're having a great discussion. We got Steve on from SS Airsoft. Papa's back. Well, he's going to be talking about his event in a little bit. And of course, we got Virtue down there. So for those of you that have not been on here for a while, mentally I'm 12. But you know what the funny thing is? A lot of the guys that I saw, that I've seen it a couple times, that get pissed off, like you said, it's the adults. And it's usually the milsimers that just got steamrolled, right? They just got steamrolled by fast-paced, quick shooting. And those kids don't mess around with that surrender rule. They'll come around that corner with their gun up saying, "Surrender, surrender, surrender." They put themselves right in harm's way. And then, and then they're usually the ones that when they go around and do it, they're the ones usually making a mistake and accidentally shooting somebody when they're too close instead of saying surrender. And yeah, it's just a giggle fest of, the way that some people react to being outplayed. In
Dude,
retrospect, too.
On operators out of the military come in there and get shanked with a rubber knife by a 10-year-old and then come to me and go, "I'm completely dumbfounded that I train every week of my life for the past 20 years, and Johnny 10-year-old has killed me with a knife." I'm like, that's a good lesson.
Everybody underestimates the little kids. Everybody underestimates the little kids. I love to get a group of them together and give them a mission, and it is hilarious.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's the best.
To answer your question, Arch Norman, no, that is not Tubbs' gun. That is my gun. Me and Tubbs just have the same one.
The fun thing that you did, which was the last game of the day, is a melee only game, and I love those games. You get to run around doing nothing but, messing around. I was, as soon as I found out it was a melee only game, I was like, "I'm getting a frying pan." I went running out, and they go, "Frying pan? Wait, hold on." Then they saw it, they're like, "Okay, that's cool." And when the kids were chasing me around, inadvertently, like I come from Renaissance Fair. I used to sword fight. So kids come up, I'm like, "Whap." Hey, I'm sorry. My bad. Didn't mean to smack it down, because they're looking at their gun to the floor. It's just, but again, if you see the smile outside my face, it was so much fun. Finally, at one point, I'm just standing like this going, these damn kids have me running all over. And then the jumping out of the way, you really do foster a really awesome environment there. And we're not saying it for any other reason except for how much fun SNS is. So if you guys are in the Atlanta area, if you're in Georgia at all, it's worth the trip. I mean, hell, I drive 8 hours to go there. It's worth it.
Dude, I really appreciate that you see that, and I hope everybody sees the same thing when they come there. I don't want anybody to ever have a bad experience, but the melee game, and I might be giving away some secrets here, but the last game of the night is always a melee game, and that's by design by me. In the beginning, when I first opened SS, I was the reigning champion forever. I would get out and play every last game with them just to have some fun with the kids, right? I'm a little older, a little crankier, a little fatter now. It's not as easy for me to do. But if you end the night on a good note, no matter what happened during the day seems to go away. And a melee game is more like a big game of tag, and everybody's having fun, and they're laughing, and they burn off that last bit of steam, and they all seem to leave with a smile on their face. So that's why I try to do that last game of the night.
Yeah, and it works. It really does work. I want to show one part of this here because we're also testing out a new feature of this. So hold on one second. There we go. All right, show on stream. Here we go. This was the melee game. Let's see how bad this is going to lag.
That's a trade. It's a trade. Yeah.
And this was just like, I mean, if you guys could see, is it going okay?
It's running smooth on screen.
Cool. This is what I'm talking about with your set design and your feel. And this is, like I said, the melee game. We're just out here having a good time, smacking each other with plastic weapons.
Why would you run across the opening?
I didn't mean to select that hard. Sorry. Sorry.
That's what I'm talking about, knocking the knife out.
It's home. You just having a sweet.
Breaking news.
Oh, I was beat. I mean, the at least that works well, right? It was just
you see what I mean by the laughing and everybody having fun. Like that's, to me, that is the high note to leave on the end of the night with.
Mm-hmm.
Even you were laughing, even though you're huffing and puffing, you were laughing and having fun.
I was running those kids down, man. You kidding me? I was running all over the place, jumping out of the way.
Don't sugarcoat it. He's always huffing and puffing during airsoft.
Shut up.
Yeah.
He's huffing and puffing, getting in and out of the car.
Oh.
You all suck. But again, if it hasn't come across before, we appreciate everything that you're doing with SNS Airsoft. I can't wait for you to see the rest of your dreams fulfill, where you can get a larger size field, get a larger size shop. Because the only thing I see you doing each time I come there, you do more with the space that you have, and it's absolutely fantastic and awesome. When is your next BQB tournament?
We usually kind of stall those BQB tournaments out during the holidays. So November, December, we try to chill out and start them back in February or March, because we're just so busy with, when the kids are out of school, Christmas is there. There's just so much going on. To put on a tournament is a lot harder than people would think it is. We're running 6 referees typically on a 5-on-5 team. So there's 10 men and we're running 6 refs. That's as close as you can get to man-on-man coverage, I think. So, my referees have to work all day and then they have to do this event at night. And it's really tough to get employees now. So we chill those out. And then, we're starting to run some practices. They really seem to like the practices. So we're opening up for SpeedQB practices every other Friday night now.
Nice.
I mean, you got to give the Speedy Boys time to wax their knee pads up, right?
Yeah, well, I want to give them a place to play. That's why we have that field there. They have an outlet for that type of behavior and that type of play there. And look, I get that's super competitive, and the guys who are competitive, it gives them a minute to get that out, and they can go back to playing pub games and relax a little.
I saw one dude, though, and I don't know if it's on camera or not. I got to go through all the footage, but he slid like a very far distance. He went running and slid and did a pop up, like a little spinning top thing, pop 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 pop. I was laughing hysterically because I saw that when I was upstairs, and I thought that was the most hilarious thing I ever saw. Was how far that kid slid, and the fact that he was spinning and shooting. I was like, that's amazing.
Dude, I didn't realize how like prolific the slide was for Speedy Boys until a kid came in the shop and he asked me if I had surfboard wax. And I was like, no, why? He's for my knee pads. And I just kind of stared at him like, all right, you got to explain this to me, buddy. But no, the kid came in with some he had. He waxed up his knee pads, and you played at Crucible. He literally went right down the middle line sliding. I was like, if it works.
Yeah, and because he waxed his knee pads, then here's me running through the field, make a turn, and next thing you know, I end up on the ground, sounding like Peter Griffin going, ah. But Steve, do you have anything else to say? Because I mean, your hour's about up here, so
Okay. No, only thing I want to say is thank you, and I hope I can meet you, Papa. And I didn't catch your name.
That's Virtue. We've met before.
I'd like to meet you both, shake your hand, and have time to talk. So you're welcome in my house anytime. I'd love to have you up. But dude, I appreciate all the kind words you've given us, and it actually, as a business owner, it's good in my heart. Lets me know all this hard work and late nights that we put in is starting to pay off, and at least somebody sees it, because you always hear all the negative talk, and you don't always get all the good talk. So I appreciate you just doing that for me.
Yeah, and anytime, obviously, like the next time that you have a tournament or something, we're probably up there, and we would love to stream that live. Just having a good time of coming up to your shop. Like I said, that player behavior and mentality that you have is something that is just it gets me to drive 8 hours to your location. Right. I mean, you could have an awesome shop, but if you have crappy people that are there, I don't want to be there. So I want to go there.
You can't get Joker to drive 8 hours for barbecue, and that's the level you got right there.
The dog is tied up on the 1 second. Sorry, the wife loves her new dog a lot, and she's trying to get the dog to go out. the head you see behind me. And Loki's like, screw that nonsense. I ain't going nowhere.
So let me ask you a question.
Sure.
What do you think brings that mentality to the players, and what can we do to get more of it?
Honestly, everything that you've been doing is you're training. I said it like several times during the stream. You train the players, your staff, and the way that you come in and interact with the players sets a high bar. And I come from Miami, where the players police themselves on the weekdays. We police ourselves. It's like the only other thing I could think of is that, and I think I've mentioned to this in the past, it's just always a pipe dream whenever I see a shop open. Are you open more days during the week? Because I think that during the week is a lot of missed opportunities for a lot of fields, because you have a lot of people in the service industry that can't come out to play. Now, your shop does have a younger base, so you might have a different view on that. But that's like, I would love to be able to come up, like Thursday, for example. I'm driving up because I'm going to Rev 12. They're like, I'm stopping off at SS. I'm going to get some pew-pews on later on and be open a little bit later in the evening. I was generally surprised when I heard 4:45 is the last game. Oh, I want to play it on 9 o'clock. What do you think?
Again, that's part of
sorry,
having a hard time getting employees right now. We have been dreaming about doing a Thursday night pistol shotgun only night, and it's just a matter of me getting the right employees in there and being able to handle that.
And that I understand.
We tune down our hours because I'm trying to not wear out the employees I have. we used to run a whole lot of hours, and I see that it burns some employees and burns them out over time. So we've tried to tame all that down and be reasonable for what you get for your amount, how much time you get to play. Playing 6 hours of airsoft seems to me to be more than enough for the money that you're paying. So, Yeah, could we go longer? We probably could. We used to. So maybe once we get the employees back, we're going to start bringing back special events like adult night. I want to do the pistol only night. I want to bring what I'm going to call a true mill sim night where you get maybe just 30 round mags. And I want to bring some realism back to the sport because that's part of what I would enjoy. You know, no tanks, no HPA, 30 round mags, 15 pistol, and you have to pick how you're going to shoot and where you're going to shoot because there's a chance you run out of ammo. So I kind of want to play some of that style.
Yeah, and it's fun sometimes. Like the first game I played, I went through 2 mags. Second game I played, I think they were both TDMs too. The second game I played, I had to go ham because I had to push, and I pushed all the way down to the end because I went right up against that group that came from up north, those 8 or 9 speedy boys, and I just kept running straight into them. So I was like, screw this. I'm going to make sure I had, because they had a couple lines late where they were laying down hate. And then they didn't expect me to come around that corner with accuracy, speed, and snapshots and taking them out. And they're like, so that game I went through all 5 mags. I was on my last mag when the game was called. I was like, oh, thank God.
Let me give you a piece of advice about speedy boys. The best way to get control over the speedy boys is to go prone. Believe it or not, they always come around with their gun up and they're pre-firing corners and do all this. They never even think to look down. So if you're on an indoor field sometime and you go
Don't
prone,
anybody say it. Don't anybody say it. Don't anybody say it.
I can't say nothing.
No, you cannot. Nope.
Oh, God.
Diesel, Wiener, shut up. Because honestly, it's a little too soon for me based on this here. It's finally starting to heal, right? That was
emotional damage.
That's why he went quiet.
That wasn't me, but
I was up at
that was spot on.
up at Black Tiger and went into one of the con exits, and I trained my guys, all my guys, when you get close, right, to aim low, right, aim for the meat, aim for the gear, something like that. Come around the corner. I know there's a guy in there. We're not doing bang out. We're not doing surrenders. I'm down here. I'm aiming low. I'm about 1.5 feet, 2 feet away from the guy who's aiming straight ahead. So most people would have caught it in the neck, maybe in the shoulder. Right there, he catches me right between my eye pro and my mask. So
wow.
Yeah. Most people don't aim low. No, Diesel.
What are these guys doing to you?
No.
Well, they haven't seen Papa in a while, so they've been building this up and saving it.
They have. So Papa is 5'1", right?
Yep.
So when he goes out on the field and he's all kitted up, he looks like a kid, in size at least, and he's fast like a kid. You do not be surprised that he's older than me, and you just turn around, he's gone. It's like, where the hell did he go? So it was just funny because the short jokes come out in style when Papa's on the thing, and
Well, I'm still waiting for the style part to come. The short jokes come out like in a flurry. I'm just waiting for the style part.
Yeah,
I'll agree with you there, Papa.
So what happens for me, most of my eliminations at your field though is from surrenders, to be honest. I mean, I don't get shot up all that much. I mean, I did get shot a few times, don't get me wrong. I mean, I got a good tag in the back of the neck for my own team. But it's one of those funny things that, like, a lot of my eliminations were surrender. I was like, oh, whatever. One of the funny ones was like doing oddball. Oh, I think I got it queued up. Let's see if it's there. Let's see if this works right.
Surrender.
So I realized that so my trigger is so fast and responsive. I didn't mean to actually shoot the guy when I pointed at him. I meant to say surrender, and the gun went off, and then he's like, "Whatever." So I went, "Whatever." um. So, like I said, Saturday was a really great day because nobody really. I don't think there was any real arguments that were going on the field, which is always a great day in my book. But that was just like one of those things where I eventually I was like looking for the ref to make sure I had my hand up and everything. I was signaling that I got the ball into where we needed to, and you're like, "Okay, cool, you're done." And then I was like, and then I started walking over to make sure that an admin knew. So I didn't even get eliminated. I turned around and came back, and then I walked straight into a shot right between the eyes. I was like, "Good shot." But you have everything on like a timer. It's like all automated. Like as soon as you hit that button to start the game, it's a blue team, are you ready? And then you have those guys going as yellow team, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. And then and then it goes on to the timer. It's automatic. It goes down. So it's not like how we have it at MA where it could be if the admins decide to go to the bathroom or whatever. We are out on the field for 25 minutes.
Right. Or they're paying attention to their phone and not working, all that stuff. No,
Yeah.
we did all that by design on purpose, and same thing. I think you noticed my check-in system. I had that proprietary written for me. At the end of the night, I get an email and it says, "This is how many players you had. This is how many rentals you had. This is your average FPS. This is your average jewel rating, and this is the average age of the player on your field." So every night when the field closes down, I get an email sent right to me, and I can watch what's happening on my field live.
Nice.
I know what happened on Saturday because a lot of people say, "Oh, there's too many of this, too many of that," but I see it. And the average FPS down there is usually in the low 300s. So people complaining, "Oh, somebody's shooting hot, somebody's shooting this." I know that that's not always the case because I know where the average FPS is.
Yeah. Sometimes people just get caught in a soft spot and they just don't realize it. And they get hit and I have yet to come off your field saying somebody's shooting hot. I mean, there's other fields I went to. I walked out at Crucible. I walked out and said, somebody's shooting hot. They went up and chronoed, and sure enough, a guy did sneak on that field with a gun that was shooting at like 450 FPS. It's like, yeah, that one's stingy. Or that
why that gun was banned.
I'm not even talking about the Flak 10. I'm talking about the other guy that had his M4 was shooting 450. Yeah. But Steve, I really do appreciate you coming on, man. And if you have anything that's new and exciting that you want to talk about and all that, feel free to come on. But I really do appreciate you coming out. I appreciate the support that you gave for us when we come out there. And if you guys are, and I really cannot emphasize this enough to the viewers and all that. If you're in the Atlanta area, you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't go to SNS Airsoft. Or I keep saying that. SS Airsoft. I keep saying SNS for some reason. I'm sorry, brother. I tell you,
get a lot of questions, so I'm going to answer it up front. SS stands for sharpshooter. But I figured out in the very beginning of this, there's no way I'm going to send a kid to school in a sharpshooter shirt, so we better abbreviate SS. So, a lot of people have a lot of things they think SS stands for. It stands for Super Steve. I mean, sharpshooter.
I say, Joker, when you first brought that up, and I said, there is no end, it's SS. And you went, no, I'm pretty sure it's SN.
S and S is what I thought it was, but it's like SS. So the funny thing is as soon as I went home or to the hotel Saturday night, I started cutting a video, and I had to record it twice, or because I threw it up on TikTok about you hiring somebody on the spot. And I kept saying I realized I did an entire 3 segments, and I was like, son of a bitch, I got to do this all over again because I kept saying SNS, and I was like, I got to get it out of my head, and that's sometimes just my ADHD brain saying, yeah, we're putting shit in here because it can. But seriously, we love the site. We love the facility. This is SS Airsoft is the best theme game from players that rated the #1 field for theme. And we haven't come up with our overall throughout the U.S. yet for indoor, but you're in the top 3, sir.
Thank you. I'm
So
happy
we
with
haven't.
that.
You're #1 for theme, hands down. There's no other place that I found anywhere, and people can correct me if they do it, and it gives me another place to go look at. But hands down, you have the best theme. Can't wait to see what you do more of, and then we'll be doing our end of year awards here pretty soon on stuff. So you'll be getting a little package in the mail from us.
I appreciate you so much.
All right. And now you're welcome to stick around, but now we're going to go switch over to Papa here. So if you have someplace to go, you don't have to stick around here. But
I had to go get me some dinner. You guys were making me hungry.
well, Steve, thanks for coming on, brother.
Also, please look me up. I'd like to learn more about what you do over there, and if there's any way for us to work together with some of these things. Like I said, I'm trying to expand my horizons too. So
absolutely,
feel free to look me up, please.
We'll do. We'll do.
Before you take off, Greg, are you going to Bone Crusher or to Thunderdome?
I was supposed to go to Thunderdome and I missed the tickets. I've been talking with CRISPR to see about getting them. See if there's any left. I am not able to go to Bone Crusher though. No.
What about Stone Breaker?
No, God, no. No. Well, no. So Crusher is just after my event, and then Breaker's much. I might be able to go to Stone Breaker, but Bone Crusher I can't go to. That's 2 weeks after Clash of Titans, and
okay.
No, I'll be following weekend. I'm in New York, and then I'm gonna die. So
I'm trying to, Steve. I'm trying to drag him up with me to come see. Is what I'm trying to do. So I was just trying to see
at some point. I'm still figuring it all out. I got you're in. I'm sorry, you're in Atlanta.
Yeah, we're about 30 minutes outside Atlanta.
North side, northeast.
How far is Atlanta from Fort Stewart?
Fort Stewart?
Yeah. Anybody know?
If only we had
about 3 hours.
If only we had a device at our fingertips with which we could look things up like this.
If only everybody would have said that. You guys are the worst. Absolute worst.
I don't really even know.
I'm looking it up right now.
I think it's like 3 hours. I'll do the next best thing. I'll send Dom over. He can meet Dom.
while he's looking that up, Papa,
well, only about 4
water bottle up again.
What's that?
Your water bottle. Can you hold it up again?
This one?
I want to know if I need to be disappointed in you. Yes. Yes, I am disappointed in you.
Why are you?
It's not branded at all. That's the perfect water bottle for a DEO sticker.
Oh. So you should know better than just about anybody that I am the furthest thing from a brand. Like I am terrible at my own marketing. Absolutely horrendous at my own marketing.
I got excited. I was like, "Is that a DEO water bottle? I know what I want for Christmas." Oh wait, it's not.
We did stuff like that for a minute. I got T-shirts. I did like hats and stuff. Like we did stuff for a minute, and nobody bought it. So I'm like, whatever. I'm not wasting the money. I'd rather take. I'm very. For 30 years since I've been doing stuff, computers, things like that. I'm more about function than I am form. Form comes after the fact. I make things be a certain way before they look a certain way. That's just how I've always been. So
to answer your question, Papa, it is 4 hours and 17 minutes per Google. So you could probably knock that time down a little bit because of,
because you are a Florida driver.
He's not as bad as me, but yeah.
I'm a Connecticut driver, actually. I learned to drive in Connecticut.
So I'll get him up there one day, Steve, so you guys can meet each other.
But Steve, before you leave, I since you've been on here this amount of time, I want you to I wanted you to see Virtue make a face. That's all. I just wanted you, just because.
I love how he brings out the.
Yeah.
So, what's funny is
Hold on before you go there. I love how he took on like the really
that's a
professional
collector's
gloves.
item.
oh no,
I
I
respect
actually,
that.
yeah, I actually don't let if anybody wants to even touch it in the store, I make them put the gloves on because the grips, especially just the oils from the hands, the grips
Yeah.
get like that fast, they get dirty. So I like we have the black one, which doesn't like don't have to wear gloves or anything like that, and it's the exact same gun, and literally cost the exact same price too. So I let them hold this one if they want to just hold for function. If they're thinking about buying, I let them hold it, but they have to put the gloves on.
I can't believe they did a limited run. I sold so many of those Verpal bunnies. I didn't keep one,
The
but
pink
I
one,
can't believe they won't come back. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I probably
the
sold
reason
40 of them.
the reason is it's a tie-in with an anime series.
yep.
They did that, and they were supposed to do a limited run on the pink P90, but they extended the run on the pink P90 because the original collector set came with the pink Warple Bundy and the pink P90, which was Gun Gale Online, which is a shoot off of Sword Art Online. Which it's one of my dream pistols, the Warple Bundy, because they are so freaking hard to find.
Which is why
The funny thing is, since he's running away, maybe he can't hear us. And anybody else think as soon as he put the white gloves on, the only thing he needs is a white hat.
not a white hat. Why would it be a white hat anyway?
Red hat. Sorry, red hat.
See, you blew it. You blew it.
No.
And just so you're aware, I have the Elf on a Shelf costume, and yes, I will be wearing it because I do go around town and sit on shelves in stores.
Dude, I'm gonna get it. Hold on. When this dog gets fully grown, I'm gonna get a saddle just for you to put on there. There you go.
Yep.
So it comes the box itself, and actually even the inside of the box is absolutely fantastic. Like everything that it comes with, just they did a great job. And what's funny is the packaging for the black one is exactly the same.
Yep. I can't believe you guys are into these. You'll hate me because at one point we had so many of them. We were taking a slide off the pink one and putting on the black slide and mixing and matching the parts and selling two-tone guns.
You got to be a weeb. You got to be an anime nerd to appreciate it.
So it's got like this foam is actually connected to the back of this is the top of the box. So when it goes down, it sits properly in there. It actually has like the book. That's like everything about what they did with this was absolutely fantastic. They did a great packaging job. They really did a fantastic job.
Yeah, they extended. So they originally only did, I want to say it was 150 of them. And then people got so upset, they extended the run to 500. And then the additional run didn't sell out as quick because all of us nerds that wanted it, except for me, got them.
Well, I remember I saw it come out the first time, and I sent Virtue a message, and I was like, "Hey, think you'd like this?" He's like, "Get it now!" And I'm like, in that amount of time of us messaging, I lost the opportunity to get it, as a dealer at that. So as soon as I saw him come back out, I bought 1, 2, 3, 4, I think, and then I got 2 of the black ones because honestly, I'm going to keep the black ones. Forget about them being like really neat and cool looking. They function very well. Like they're incredibly snap. And Steve, you probably know this from selling so many. They're incredibly snap. Oh, really? Oh no,
they're performance beast.
Yeah.
The only issue they had was mags. They did not release enough mags when they did the initial run.
I bought extras for each one just to make sure that when I sell them, there's enough for them. Yep.
Yeah, no,
I've got how many? 2.
Yeah, they essentially fire almost. It's kind of like a high cap and a Beretta had a baby. So it's got that quick snappy response of like a finely tuned Kappa, but the gas efficiency of an early generation Beretta.
They're super quick. Super quick.
Do you have some for sale?
I've got one. I have 2, but one is spoken for. Yes. I also have 3 of the D-Day limited edition 2011s or 1911s rather, and 2 or 3 of the Macaron Blues, the G&G Macaron Blues.
Oh, you got some macaron blues, huh?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's
speaking
why I
of it,
texted.
I back ordered those mags for you, Joker.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you.
And
Thank
I've got, I've had a bunch of those Macron Blues. I don't know why, but I think the first order I ordered 30 of them. They sold out in about a week. The second
Yep.
order I ordered 40 of them. They sold out in about 2 weeks. And I've had a back order in every since trying to get more of them in. She said they should be in any day now.
It's a beautiful high kappa platform that's got minor upgrades to it, and the sheer fact that it's 85% TM compatible. So even if for some reason you want to upgrade it, you can.
Yep.
It's a beautiful gun. I really wanted one. I was going to buy one, but somebody had one on hold for them that he didn't know about. As I was drooling over it, Joker walks up and they hand it to him.
No. They had that one saved for me.
I know.
Because they knew I was doing it, and then it was like
But he had it out in the open on display like it was going to be sold. And I went, so how much is... And he closes up the case. His Joker walks up and he hands it to the Joker. And I'm like, really? Really?
I'll tell you what, you watch my Instagram, and when they come in, you call me. I'll get you a deal on one. Deal you can't refuse.
I respect that.
The thing where they really messed up on that is we saw this weekend, right, Joker, is they did not make the mags compatible with TM mags.
Yeah.
Out of all the parts that might be compatible, the magazine is not one of them, and that's just terrible.
Yeah, it's the mag. It's the mag, and the location of the actual knocker that hits the gas valve is different from TM. That's the major downfall to
You're
it.
talking about for the Macaron?
Yeah.
That it takes GTP 9 mags, if I remember right.
No.
No.
I'll double check.
No. AW mags, the older generation of AW mags will work in it because they have a lower drop. But
sure?
the TM mags won't work. The Wii mags won't work.
The GTP 9 mags I know won't work because I tried using my rose gold one and it didn't work.
Oh, I thought it took the. I thought it fit the
Nope.
GTP 9 mags.
I can go get it and I can show you.
That's
but I gotta
completely
do
different
something
thickness.
first.
I believe you, but
No, that
I think
was the
what
only
we figured
downfall
out
to
is it was kind of it was a slightly different angle than a Tokyo mag, wasn't it? The mags
Yep.
look identical side by side on the table, but once you stand them up, you can tell one's slanted forward just a little bit more, so it won't go up. It won't go all the way up in the gun.
Yep.
But if for some reason
so
you
close.
decide to change out the grip to a 9-ball grip, you can use TM mags.
I bet you're right.
I've done a couple of custom builds for them already.
Really? So what else Tokyo Marui will fit on that gun?
The nozzle, the blowback housing, it'll take the lightweight blowback housings, the slides, depending on the aftermarket slides. It's weird. So some of the edge slides will work, no problem. Some of them require a little bit of Dremel work. It's really bizarre. Like I don't even have everything set up right now. All the maintenance parts like the slide catch, the dovetail, the thumb safeties, those will swap over. The trigger bar will swap over. The trigger bar, depending on which one you want to put in, may require a little adjustment because of that angle. Trying to figure out anything that I absolutely wasn't able to replace. Spring guide, spring setup all replace the same. Hammer spring replace the same. Sear spring works the same. Mostly everything in the grip is the major part you can't do anything with because of that grip angle.
By the way, you only have one Vorpal Bunny in stock.
Are you getting the other one?
He only has one in stock. He should check his inventory on the computer right now.
I know.
You want Greg to use a computer?
No, he knows what he's laughing at now.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm gonna get a phone call from an angry Amazon in about 15 minutes, but she could deal. Yeah.
But yeah, so for the most part, everything on the Macron is upgradable if you're willing to take.
Is there a way for me to share a picture in this at all?
Yeah, if you go to the bottom where it says share.
I'll be right back because I'm gonna go get the two other pistols.
All right. So if you click where it says share, you can share screen or video, and then it'll pop up over here for one of us to approve.
Let me see if I can copy this image.
Yeah, but no, as soon as those things came out, we got a bunch of kids that no matter what they buy, they immediately bring it in without using it and go, hey, upgrade this. And I'm like, did you play with it yet?
Well, if you know it's live.
What's it
No.
wanting to share? Can I not share a picture?
We've been responding to comments, no?
You can share the screen, or you can send it over to Joker or I, and we can put it up.
Do you see at the bottom of the screen where it says?
There it goes.
Oh, yes.
Loading.
Joker, you're so stupid.
What?
That was our take on this a long time ago. We built a gun similar to that.
It's like
Look.
there's, yeah, that does.
I like the
Look.
battle damage on it.
Hold on, look, it even has the same
Ew.
scuff marks as mine.
Yeah, again,
Yeah,
the
no, I
stuff
dig
that
that. I
excites me-
definitely dig that.
That's the kind of stuff that excites me. I love building custom stuff. Like to me, that's just cool.
Yeah, no,
So-
I completely agree with you. My newest project is I'm trying to get a hold of Vorsk over in Norway because they are the manufacturers of the SSP5 slides, Norwegian's new split side slide. Those are Vorsk slides, but they don't distribute to the US. So I'm trying to get a hold of somebody there that's willing to make a deal with me to get a couple of them in stock.
How do you spell that? I want to look that up.
Hold on.
So this is the GTB 9 mag, obviously the rose gold one, Papa, and
BORSK.
it doesn't lock into place because I wanted to bring it up so I could have more things. So I brought it with me.
Can you email that to me?
Yep. I'm going to do this. Bring it. So, yeah, so this is who
Well,
is
that would suck.
manufacturing the SSP5 slides.
Did it again.
And they won't sell to the U.S.
They will not export to the US. I've talked to 3 different people. You may have more pull because you got more money than I do.
Do they have a reason behind that?
None that nobody could give me.
I wonder if there's some kind of copyright deal or something they don't want to sell here for.
No clue. But I'm trying to get a couple of them because when the SSP1 came out, I took it because it's a KJ Works KP08 and KP06 hybrid. I got the original KJ Works guns and made a better version of the SSP1. And now the SSP5's out. I don't want to do it again, but I can't get that slide.
Where are you located at?
Currently Columbus, Ohio, but I am all over the country. I literally just got back from Texas. I have no idea where we're going next.
He travels way too much, and that's coming from me.
Sounds like you need to end up at SS and teach me a few things.
I mean, so you've had Scott and you've had Connor come down there, and no matter what Scott may say, I taught Scott most of the things he knows about pistols. And shark bait, aka Connor, the same thing. But no, if I actually find time to come down, I'll definitely come down again. It'll be my 3rd trip to SNS. You got me doing it now, Joker. SS. It'll be my 3rd trip to SS. But yeah, no, like tuning, tweaking, and engineering those things is what I do. I've done custom builds for a bunch of different companies. Amped uses my guns for raffles. One of the reasons I was in Texas is E-Bike paid me to come out and I built a bunch of guns for them. And I have to go to I think California soon to do some work for Airsoft GI.
So how can we work together?
Time and scheduling is what it comes down to. Why are we showing off the?
I just wanted to show the latest toughest patch I've done. That
So
is
explain this to me.
So that is so the I was just looking. I meant to send this to you a while back, virtual. I just didn't get a chance to. So the D Hop patch is it's a I didn't invent the patch barrel system. I just spent over 9 months developing the material, the process, and the post processing of it. So this is a patch barrel system that I came up with, and this is one I had to do. This went in. This is in a 610 millimeter. This is not the PKP. This is the 1919, I believe, if I remember right. Since I couldn't get a proper barrel for it, it was either 1919 or PKP, and I can't remember which. And I had to patch it because if you look at the window, the cut window for it, that was the hardest one I've ever had to do, and have it come out that way. The patch itself is actually cured to the barrel. So I would honestly, sincerely, I showcase this one because I would challenge any patch maker to patch that barrel. I'm not even concerned about it being as good as mine, but I challenge anyone to try to patch that barrel.
So what's that look like inside?
Let me see. I actually have a picture. I've done video of it on the internally. I'd have to look and see if I've got one, but so it is. Thank you. Stop sharing. It actually is. It encompasses the complete inner diameter of the barrel, so it's actually flush with the inside of the barrel. So there's no skip into the metal of the barrel. The entire patch goes all the way through. So a D-Hop patch system actually uses a hollow bucking. Hollow nub. So just a simple factory hollow nub is what you want to use. If you try to use a flat hop with a hard nub or a bridge nub or something like that, you'll actually overhop every time.
And you're hand building every one of these?
Yeah, every single one. They have to be.
I have
that
watched this man do it. He's explained it while doing it, and I still have no clue how the hell he does it.
So tell me what it does. What does it do differently for the BB?
Wait, I know this answer. answer.
Shit.
It makes
I want to hear it from the mad scientist.
No, Joker likes to say it. It's his favorite thing to say.
It makes it pew pew far and accurate.
I yelled at him so much for that.
That's technical terms.
Yeah. So the biggest difference is it was really neat having this conversation with a NASA engineer. When I went to Wolverine and spoke with Rich out there. We actually had a conversation about it and talking about the ability to more efficiently and effectively use the energy being pushed behind the BB. So very well using hop. It acquires pressure on the top of the BB to make the BB spin to give it Magnus effect. Easy concept to understand, especially for any engineer. The key was to get the lightest amount of touch and maximize the amount of spin. So because of the compound that I'm using, I'm able to get a more viscous material, and so I can use the least amount of touch and still maximize the amount of spin. So you'll actually get more rotations out of this than you will something that actually has more hop applied. Did I lose you yet? Okay, make sure you're still with me. Yeah. So not only does it increase your Magnus effect, which makes it so that you can actually carry a heavier BB, but you also more efficiently use the energy you're applying. So whereas whether it's AG or an HPA, when the air is released, when it hits the free girls chat, when it hits the when the bucking hits the BB, it's actually having to bounce underneath it, right? So bucking's coming, the BB hits and actually has to bounce under. With the D-Hop patch, it's barely touching, so it's grazing underneath. Even with hop applied, it's just barely grazing. So you're not losing that energy. You're also not getting so much turbulence as the BB travels down the barrel. As you know, whatever the BB is doing as it exits the barrel is only going to be exacerbated at 100 feet and 200 feet and 300 feet. Right. So that's what you're going to get from this. With the Health magic. That one's not too bad.
They
I
don't
have
let up, do they?
I have actually said that before. A little elven magic. But yeah, so the key really was getting that turbulence reduced, getting the greatest amount of spin, the most efficient amount of air. So I've actually, the only gun that I've built personally that I haven't been able to properly use this with are my little Scorpions, my CZ67s. I haven't been able to do it just because AEPs shoot so low that you can't carry a heavy enough BB for it to actually make a proper difference yet. So it made a little bit of a difference, but not enough. But I'm in the process of building a proper AEP. So, there's that.
What's the wear life on it? How long is it going to last?
I've got guys right now that have barrels that are 3 years old, 500,000 plus rounds, probably.
Just don't take it up to the cold.
Here, okay. I'm glad Wiener's on.
Everybody, it's
Said
not a
no
party.
one ever.
Okay, so
It's not a party till the wiener comes out. Wiener.
this is all right. So the and it's not a flaw in the patch. This goes for anything. I had to learn to explain this though. Number one, with an HPA system, the biggest difference, and you know this, anybody that builds know this. One of the biggest differences between HPA and AAG is if you get a clog or a double feed or anything like that, an AAG will allow the nozzle to recoil. So you'll get that back pressure. The nozzle will not push forward. It'll actually recoil, and you won't get the air pushing through. Not a problem. HPA, no matter what, that nozzle is firing. That nozzle will fire every time. You're not stopping it. So it's just going to try to push that positive air through. So if you take something and you crank it down like a hop up, and you crank, and now you've made a divot pushing through halfway through your barrel, making a half moon in your barrel, that HPA gun is still going to try to fire that BB through. Nothing will survive that. And I learned that lesson first up in Pennsylvania because some of the guys, there were two guns that it happened to up there because it was 12 degrees or whatever the hell it was out.
20.
And these guys with their HPA tanks were trying to crank the tanks up because they were losing air pressure, trying to crank their hop ups up. Well, cranking all that stuff up and you're trying to pass that BB through, it actually tore the patch. So the patch is not invincible. It's very durable, but it's not invincible.
But it's freaking awesome, though.
And I tell every one of my guys that this is going in an HPA gun. As you're making it, turn your hop all the way off, and minute turns, tiny turns, until you see it start to loft. As soon as you see hop apply, slight turn back, and you're done. Don't ever go past that. There's no need to go past that. Some of these guys, they just crank that wheel, and they fire, and a couple of shots goes through, and they'll tear the patch because they don't realize that an HPA gun is going to push that positive energy through no matter what. AEGs, they'll backfire, basically. They'll push the nozzle back. So,
is this something you're selling prepackaged, or how you doing these?
So yeah, so the barrel itself is up to 363 millimeter. The barrel is $110. Beyond that, it goes up by about $5, depending on $5 up until about 135. The longest barrel I've done so far is a 690, something like that.
Look at that.
It's I think it's a 690 was the longest I've done, and still it's only $150.
What barrel are you using?
I use either ZCI or Angel Custom. Yep, I've patched. Honestly, I've actually patched, like you saw there. I've patched brass barrels and seen them outperform. Guys are like, I got a Poseidon with a Mad Bull.
Dude, I would say I can speak for this for experience. I have been a barrel Nazi about what goes in my guns, and he patched a brass barrel. I slapped it in, and the barrel really doesn't matter. Once that patch goes in, the barrel don't matter.
So, one of the things that when I go around, people are always asking, "What's the first upgrade that I do with the guns?" We get that been asking all that time, and I say, first thing you do is get yourself a D-hop barrel. solves, and you're gonna see an increase. What I saw on average is 35 to 50 foot increase in range, and not just range, but it's a like you're
Accuracy.
watching that BB going, that BB's going straight, and the drop off's at the very end. So when you're firing for range, it's all the way down the line. There's no wave going through like you see in some of the other ones, like an R hop or an S hop. It's just straight, and then the drop offs at the very end, which is awesome.
And the other upside is you don't get residual. So a lot of people, when they super glue in a patch, as R hop, S hop, they super glue, and you get that residue inside the barrel that gums up the works. And like your shots, you think they're going to be consistent, but a little divot inside your barrel means it's going that way. And with, again, I hate to keep petting him on the back because he knows I love giving him crap. But with the D-Hop barrel, you don't get that. It's smooth down the bore. You get that grip contact to your BB, and it just goes. First time I ever touched one, it was Joker's, and he let me borrow it because we were, was it Bad Blood?
Yeah.
We were at Bad Blood chronoing, and somebody grabbed me because I'm in charge of chrono for Bad Blood, and they's like, something's up with this guy's gun. I was like, is it shooting out? They're like, no. But, like, he's outranging the targets. It's got to be hot. I was like, well, what's it chronoing at? He's chronoing under, and I go over there. I shoot the gun. I was like, all right, what is this magic?
And I said, if you think that's good, Tinker, come here, because Tinker's got an ARP 5.56, the original one, and he's got a range of almost 300 feet. And they're like, what?
They were outranging. Tinker was outranging a guy with a DMR with an ARP 5.56. And the guy tried to get me to go re-chrono his gun because he had to be cheating. I was like, I chrono that gun already, but I'm going to go chrono it in front of you right now just to prove he's not cheating.
So and first of all,
can I be your first wholesale account?
Absolutely. If you can move them, absolutely. I have no problem with that.
I can move them. If you'll make a video, I'll send you the gun if I got to, but ARP 9s, I sell them like candy.
And Joker can tell you
proving to everybody, here's your stock gun, here's the gun with this in it. I can sell these for you all day long. But
and I would say,
like I said,
don't change the hop up in the ARP9. Yep, and do not change the hop up in the ARP9. Use the stock hop up. Just change the barrel. That's it. Joker will tell you. He has enough ARP9s to know. Right.
He's still got three ARP,
something like that. Yeah.
Well, no, two ARP9s and an ARP and a PCC9, and those freaking hop ups, man. The Max Pro hops up in particular do not like that 9mm mag.
You're gonna be able to keep up with what I can sell.
Say again.
Can you keep up with what I can sell?
Absolutely.
Okay.
If he can't, trust me, he'll call me and I'll be spending a couple of weeks in Florida again.
Yeah, I'm not worried. My biggest problem. So Steve, I'll give you an idea, and Joker knows this, Virtue knows this, Wiener knows this. I'm running a corporation with myself and Bulldog. Bulldog is my store manager. He handles the storefront. I've taught him how to do inventory. I've taught him how to do, help with ordering and things like that. But I've handled everything else. When it comes to my events, I've got, when I came to the field, I've got a team of volunteers, my team. I say volunteers, but they get paid in guns, so they're pretty happy. I've got Toucan who writes my games and helps runs my games, stuff like that. But for the most part, when it comes to the business, it's primarily just me. I'm looking for tech. I'm looking for this. You know how hard it is to actually build the business piece. And I'm running a shop based on other people told me to open. I wasn't going to open it. So yeah, you can go back and you can watch that stream. Bunch of assholes. Really? Yeah, he's laughing because he was one of them. When I was on a stream, I had a field. That was it. That's all I wanted. I had a field. I built some guns and I made a barrel. Done. I don't want anything else to do with it. And they made me open a store.
Months later, you open the store.
Yeah. Now, to be honest, it was for the community. It was a wonderful thing. But real quick, get back the best shot, the best test. I would say that I've ever done with a D-Hop barrel is I built a gun called the Veritas. Veritas is based on the Amoeba Striker, the ASO2, except it's got a Wolverine Bolt M and a Wraith stock in it. So running at 3.45 joules, it carried a 0.5 gram BB over 400 feet.
Dang.
So that's the carry. The accuracy distance on that was right around 360 feet with a 0.5. So I'm sure, I didn't want to do it. I wanted to test the heaviest weight I could get my hands on and see what it would do. So carrying a 0.5 gram over 400 feet, accuracy was right around the 360, 370 foot mark. So to give you an
I
idea.
think there's a way for us to work together, because I would love to get into building some of those guns. I would love to carry your barrels and sell them online, which I believe I can move a fair amount of them. And let's do this. Let's help each other out.
Wolfman, we'll talk about the guns in a second. We're talking about some other cool things here. I just want to make sure that you saw that, that we heard you when it comes down to the SEMA Platinum Rapid Strike. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And this has not become an infomercial for the D-Hop barrel.
No, I'm sorry.
No. I'm saying this is this for everyone that's
for.
watching. One of the things that we don't take on, we don't talk about or take on a product or a sponsor or anything that we don't believe in. Like, I'm not, just because like Steve gives me a gun doesn't mean I'm going to come on here and say good things about their field or their business practice or anything else. We give the truth because we know how to do that. It's the raw excitement that we have for the barrels, for the fields, and for the stuff and the people that we bring together. We love this sort of level of networking to where we can sit back and be like, check this out. Because literally, I can't tell you how many times I've gone to a field with a D-Hop in the gun and been like, oh, you can't, like, I'm outside the range of snipers. And I was like, they're like, you can't get them. I was like, yeah, I can. Watch this. Without even having to arc the gun. All of a sudden, they're like, hit. And they go, and then you hear from the other side, how in the did that happen? And it's like, and then sometimes you just have to do a little bit of arc. Next thing you know, it's going. I was like, I got the range. And they go, what are you shooting at? I was like, I'm at 155, right at limits. What do you want? And then people sit down there and they just shake their heads. And that's the cool stuff, for like how your field is an extremely awesome theme. I have yet to have a single person who said it can't be the best theme come back and say you're wrong. They're all like, all right, you're right. And same thing with the selection of your shop.
I like the collaboration. It's to me, collaboration is the best thing that we could all do. Then, dude, I would love to be selling your barrels next week. I mean, send them to me, whatever.
I appreciate it.
Or emails. You can send my email across, and I'll buy some, put them in my shop, and I'll have a couple key guys throw them in their guns, and the word will spread like fire, and they'll be on the website. We'll sell them.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I these guys will tell you, up until about, honestly, maybe 6 months ago at the most, I didn't openly advertise it myself. It felt braggadocious to say anything about it. These guys were all responsible for all my marketing. Basically, they just would tell people to put it in. Bulldog is actually one of my biggest proponents. He loves telling people, that's all he runs in his guns. And long before he actually worked for me, I put one in one of his guns, and it went right into his original MTW. I put a tanker stock on it, put a D-Hop on it. Thing's no longer than, I don't know, maybe the whole gun is about this long, and he's out there making, 200 plus shots. It's at 1 joule. It's an SMG, so he's shooting at 1 joule. And it finally took at some point for me to, to listen to these guys and say, okay, maybe it's not bragging. Maybe it's not, me not maintaining some sense of humility. I just, it works, hundreds of barrels down the way, it works.
Dude, the barrel is so good. Somebody stole it out of my gun and left the gun.
Really?
Yeah, it's gone. It's not even in there anymore.
It's great.
I didn't know that. I'll send you another one then. The only thing I try to make sure is if somebody's doing a self-install, please make sure that every step of the way of the install, which sounds simple because installing a regular barrel is simple, every step of the way you're paying attention to the alignment. I send you a flat bucking. I send you the nub. So just use those things, and that's how I can guarantee it. And it if you change any of that, I can't guarantee because I don't know. It hasn't been tested with your parts. It's been tested with mine. Now it'll work in any hop up, but I tell people there's no need to change their hop up because it's not the hop up anymore. It's it's the barrel. It's the barrel system itself. It's the patch system itself. Um, I ask people. People ask if I'll patch one of their barrels, and I can't say yes because I don't know if their barrel got bent or whatever before it comes to me. I can QC all the barrels that come in. I chose Angel Custom and ZCIs because, to be honest with you, a barrel is a barrel. They're all tubes. Some are just polished more than others, but it becomes irrelevant at that point. I'm not using the outer edges. You know, I don't need to worry
Yeah.
about that. And I can if I can save customers money by using a less expensive, more accessible barrel, then that's what I'm going to do. That and ZCIs and Angel Customs. I use 602s and 603s. I don't use 601s. They're not necessary. 602s and
I'm glad to
603s.
hear you say that. I don't
That's it.
ever use anything under a 603.
Yep. 602s work well, depending on the application. It's I have found that the average proper use is about a 602, 603. I'll go up to if it's a short SMG or a very long DMR. I want either the SMG because there's so many rounds going through it. They're going full auto that I want that a little bit of extra space in case one BB decides not to push its way all the way through, or a DMR to get that air cushion. It needs a little bit of that air cushion because it's making its way all the way down to the end of the barrel. But other than that's all I use. That's it.
Yeah, because only jerks will put a 600 in the gun.
And I was this close to making a gas blowback patch. That close. The patch itself came out beautiful. It just doesn't work. It folds. No, the patch was great. But you can't patch it because there's no rear support on a traditional on the bucking itself, so it actually folds down and the BB can't enter. So I have to create a whole new barrel, not just a patch.
Just so you know, with the D-Hop, since I put it in my gun, my cost for BBs, I used to go through 2 bottles of BBs a game. Now I'm lucky if I go through a bottle every 2 milsim events. I'm always a marksman. I mean, I'm always a rifleman. I don't shoot anything else. I don't go high full auto or anything like that.
It has
But
absolutely
also
nothing
now,
to do with your horrible aim.
he's wow. Anyways, I don't go through the amount of BBs I used to go before the D-Hop, before I put the D-Hop in, because the accuracy and the distance. And you hear him yell ouch at the other end or hit at the other end more often than not. Thank you. Sin.
And that's the other thing. You can carry a heavier weight BB for those people that are worried about people not calling their hits because they're not feeling the shot. You can carry a heavier weight BB. It'll actually carry it further. So, yeah. No,
I'm gonna put them in my shop.
we'll get up.
I sent you guys both an email, by the way. And
Thank you.
You both have the email. So I said, here you go, gents. And you both have each other's email now.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But that's half of what I like to do is part of the stuff that there is just be a networker and put people together of cool things, because you have your super companies right now that control large segments of the market and smaller businesses aren't being seen. Okay, it happens. But if I could do something to
It's
help
gonna
out,
get worse.
Never
I think it's
ends.
going to get worse.
yeah.
The small guys need to band together and collaborate.
It's one of the reasons why whenever I travel around, I mention other locations. Like I told you, Steve, I was like, if you want to come up to the Syndicate game or have somebody from SNS come up to God did it again, SS Airsoft come up to the Syndicate game. A lot of people don't realize that. Like, I don't think Greg realized that how many people were interested in his barrels and everything else before he came up to Syndicate 1 and opened up his shop there. And then everybody's like, When's Papa coming back? When's is Papa bringing barrels with him? When is he coming back? Is he coming back for Syndicate 3? I don't know. Is he coming back for Syndicate 3? Who knows? Only one man can answer that.
Hey, Greg, for the record, he is not exaggerating. We open the doors, people walk up. Is Papa here? No.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
This is and that is the difficulty. Steve, I laughed before when you said, you got into it because of your son. That's why we were all laughing about it. Everybody, the guys on here know my story. I got into this literally. I thought this was the dumbest thing I'd ever seen. I'm retired from the Army. I was a tank commander in the Army, and my son got into this, and I see a bunch of dudes running around looking like Army, and I'm like, this is stupid. This is dumb. And then I got, but I was like, well, maybe let me play with him, and I start playing a little bit more, and I realized there's more to it and the whole thing. But I didn't ever get into it because it was going to be a business, so I still have a hard time grasping that if I want it to be a business, I got to go out and I got to travel and do. It doesn't register with me that that's what I should be doing if I want to grow the business in such a way.
Again, you're welcome.
Oh, sorry. Papa, since I actually have you on, from the boys at Outcast, thank you. They actually won, and they thanked you and the D-Hop.
Oh, it worked well for them. I take it then. Good.
Oh, they were ranging one end of the field to the other. It was hilarious.
That's fantastic.
I felt so proud.
So, Steve, the next time you put one of your builds together, when I come up there, I just want to touch it. I just want
to. Don't let him rack it.
Shut up.
Yeah.
God, that was. I'm telling you.
I saw how dirty your gun was.
That's a different story.
To borrow the white gloves.
That was a different story. That was literally because I had literally stuck that thing on my back underneath there, and I was being manhandled around because it was intended to be that way. None of my guns, like that Vorpal Bunny, is not going to be sitting on a shelf. It's going inside my rotation of I'm shooting you with an emasculator. That's why I love this gun.
Demasculator or emasculator?
Emasculator.
Yeah, dude.
That's why I had this
because
one.
I have a.
This is one of the ones I got from you, Steve. Last year. Well, actually, it's a replacement. I bought one from you guys, and it got stolen from the prison game. But people say
the prison game.
Yeah. It's like I go up and they go, "You better not shoot me that pink gun." I literally shot one dude. He goes, he gets so mad he throws his gun down and walks out the field. He goes, "I quit." I'm like, "Because you got shot with a pink gun?" I was like, "Okay."
Egos are hilarious. Like the only time I'm going to break out the Whirlpool Bunny is I have to rebuild it. It's one of the things that got stolen. Was I had a breast cancer awareness loadout, which is all pink gun, all pink kit that I would break out in February. That's one of the things I got taken when my car got robbed. So I'm slowly rebuilding it. Because we do a breast cancer awareness game, and if I shoot you, the guy in the pink, you have to put $1 in the jar.
So just so you see, Steve, I've used this one a lot more, and this one's actually This one's actually nice and clean.
For now,
I use this one more. The only thing I don't like about this gun, honestly, is the tip, because you have to almost make a custom tip adapter for a tracer unit, and I don't use pistols without.
Sell them aftermarket.
So hang on one second. I'm sorry, Diesel. I'm just going back and through. Just go to the website and you can put an order in there. Deadandoutfitters.net.
We already put it up there for you. We did that.
Oh, okay, I didn't see it come through. Thanks.
That's why it came through. I actually
the reason you can't do it for gas blowback is because the back of the barrel's cut off at an angle and there's nothing to support the back of the patch.
That's correct. Yep. So, and honestly, I would be working harder on that if I didn't have 7 other guns I'm working on. Literally 7 other guns. I have 7 guns in my OEM lineup.
You're not working on mine, so you're good.
Yeah, Papa. It's not like anybody's waiting.
You don't have mine. You're good. Mine's in my box, ready to go.
No, thank you, Virtue. Yes, I know. Nobody's waiting.
Yeah, I'm not waiting at all.
Oh God, I'm trying. The VD is the big one that everybody's waiting on, and thanks to Wolverine, they may have made it even easier. The new Wraith X, I just got my shipment in. The new Wraith X is actually might change the whole design. I yelled at Rich for it, and then it might make it easier. But it's that's why I need more people. I need at least one more tech to take all that off my hands so I can finish these guns. You know,
I get
it's a
it.
hard thing to do. So, I mean, if you make my life easier by selling more of my barrels,
I can
thank
do
you.
that all day.
I,
I can't help you find a tech. Half of these kids nowadays don't know a screwdriver from a hammer. They know what an Xbox and a cell phone is, but they don't know what a tool is. I
And
I
you
can't
could
find
afford
tech,
me.
man.
I
I could use a full-time tech or two at my shop, and I just can't find people.
finding the right ones. I had one who was worth it, and he lived too far away and couldn't commit to coming in full time. But he was working for. He'd come down one day a week, pick up stuff, work for the day, pick up stuff, take it home with him, and come back the next week with all that, which worked great. But now he's not able to do it anymore. He was the only one that was good enough all the time. I've got some that show up and they can do good work, but once a month isn't enough.
Once a
I
year.
yeah, going back to what we were saying before about bringing smaller shops together and stuff like that, it was actually awesome. Uh, um, Virtue came into town. He was here for total for a week, right?
Yeah.
Or 8 days, something like that total.
Yeah.
But you were here and then you left and came back. But had him at the shop. He was here at the shop helping me out, but he was here building guns. We told people he was here. I like myself, and I like that we all enjoy doing that just as a community. That's big or small. That's what we are. Is we're a community, and trying to make it better. That's why I was laughing with all you talking about the rules you have and what you allow and all that. Trying to make this something more than what it currently is should be our goal every time. So,
No doubt.
But I can say this: when people are looking for techs, after being an in-store tech, or I guess I'm more of a road tech now for people. It's kind of like working in an ER, and a lot of people get burnt out by it. And what I mean is, you sit there, you get these guns, these replicas, and you're trying to figure out how the heck did somebody do this. Like I know there's one pistol actually. I was in Miami. Papa hands it to me. I take it apart, and I'm like, this doesn't even logically make sense. How somebody did this to this gun.
Yep.
We've had guns. My all-time favorite, by the way. This now takes the rank of #1 worst gun ever sent to me to work on. The kid spray painted it, inside and out.
Oh,
He didn't disassemble it. He removed the slide, and just spray painted the entire thing. Put it back together. And wanted to know why it was non-functioning. Now,
that's
keep
a
in
good
mind,
one.
he used,
I like
hold
that
on,
one.
Papa, it gets better. He used vinyl dye, which is an acetone-based paint.
Okay.
For you guys that
So-
don't know chemicals or what's going
So
on
yeah,
here.
so any seal is now destroyed and gone.
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 Yep. Yeah.
So when I gave him the list for replacement parts, he's like, that's outrageous. For that, I can go get a new gun. And I went, yeah, you can.
Yep. Absolutely.
You won't have your pretty paint job on it.
Oh my God.
But it's things like that consistently happen to a lot of techs. Like I got some friends here that work at Airsoft Alpha, the guys down at E-Bike I hang out with, the guys out in Cali. And we tell horror stories every time we meet up about what's the worst one you've seen this year.
Mm.
And his wife was with us, and she's like, I work in an ER, and these conversations sound the same. If you were just replace the gun with a person, these are the conversations we have in a break room. So a lot of techs get
I'll tell
burnt
you, we've
out.
opened up a gearbox that actually had, I don't know what you want to call it, like pebbles or gravel inside of the gearbox. And
See
I'm
that one?
asking the kid, how did this possibly happen? And after going around and around with the kid for 15 minutes, he was picking his used BBs back up off the ground and putting them in his magazine.
There you go. There it is, right there. That's the good stuff. Well, he said that they're biodegradable and they're earth friendly and eco. So he was trying
At
to do
least
his
he wasn't
best.
eating them.
No,
Like the two worst
he's
we
still
had was a
waiting for
guy.
the Tide Pods to eat that.
Those little Deskin packets that come with electronics.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah,
jump.
yeah. There's a kid that put those in a magazine.
hey,
So when you say you're looking for techs, this is the reason techs get burnt out so quick. Because when the cool gun comes in with just what's upgrades, I'm happy. But when those nightmares come in where you need to take a break, go have a shot, come back and look at it again, like it's mind numbing. And then on the same category, you get the other side of not same category, but the other end of it, you get the guys that buy a brand new gun. My personal favorite is the guys that go buy a multi-$100 Crytek, brand new, still in the box, bring it in, want me to gut it and upgrade it.
Yep.
And I'm like, why?
I've talked so many people out of doing that. I lose more business than I get from doing stuff like that.
I've
Absolutely.
watched you talk customers out of buying stuff.
Yeah. I mean, look, they're going to buy something eventually anyway, or they're going to be miserable one way or the other. You know, I get stuff, guys walking in there. I get guys that get literally just starting to play. He's like, hey, is that for sale? And they're pointing at the Spectre that I keep in the glass case. Well, yeah, that's a custom gun. I build those. He's like, how much? I'm like, well, that one right there is $1,300. Can I have that one? No, you cannot. What? Have you ever played before? No, I'm thinking about starting. Then no, you cannot have that gun. You're not going to do it. Just for so many reasons. Number one, if nothing else, I'm going to put it in his hand. He's going to misuse it. It's going to break, and he's going to be mad that he spent $1,300 on a gun that breaks. Well, that's when you don't know how to drive a Ferrari and you blow the engine because you didn't know how to shift. That's your fault, not mine. Go learn on a Civic.
Yeah, I blame Papa for my new mentality when it comes to custom pistol builds. Because, like, we had a couple of guys that Scorched Earth asked me about it. And I said, how long have you been playing? He says, a couple of months. I went, come see me in a year. He's like, well, like, I'm not letting you dump that much money into that gun right now.
No.
Going back to the discussion about weird stuff, putting weird stuff in guns. Look, you put Skittles inside of an M249 launcher one time, and you get all sorts of hell. I don't want to hear it anymore, all right?
Oh, my God.
There's a fat man in snacks joke there, but I'm just not going to take it.
Well,
Skittle launchers are not allowed at Clash of the Titans, by the way.
it's still in the packet.
That's called a segue.
I heard, and we're gonna go right in there. But they're still in the packet of the M&Ms. It's not like, or the Skittles. It's not like that they're open. So what they do is they just launch it up in the air for a little snack after we go through and hose them. So she's got 6 cylinders to say, sorry guys for shooting you all.
Might as well just put Twinkies in there.
Don't give him ideas.
No, because this is the Skittles gun for Skittles. You know, it came up because we literally at Sirius Viking, we chased down these 3 guys on tan with the truck, and they were running around the blown out building at Guardian Center, and they went running from us. That's when we took out Bulldog, because they were walking with Bulldog, saw us coming, and they hauled ass around the building. And we chased them. As we're chasing them down, Skittles took out a packet of Skittles and said, taste the rainbow, and tossed them a packet of Skittles. And they're like, thank you. Because we literally ran them down. So I was like, we just got to get you to launcher. Let's test this. And we did. We took, Che took the shot at 10 feet, and it didn't hurt. It didn't leave a mark. It was funny as hell.
I have those shells that you can actually shoot those Skittles out of.
No, we don't. No, we're just talking about we're talking about putting them in a packet. Just put them in there so that when
you put the packet in there.
We'll talk, Wiener.
Oh, God.
So I got you. I got 8 shells. We're good.
So this went on because we all of a sudden segued into the D-Hop barrel. We're now going into what we wanted to talk about, which was Clash of the Titans. Dead End Outfitters' newest event at the Force Center. Going to be in February.
That's correct. February 3rd through the 5th. Yep.
Yeah, February 3rd through the 5th. And that's 1 month before the Pew Pew at Sea. So tell us a little about this. Obviously, you're using the entire Force Center.
So yeah, we actually have access to the entire AO. So we're going from I extended. Waiting to hear back. Let me say, remember where?
Well, I just want to interrupt one thing real quick. Steve was talking about going out and getting food like an hour ago.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
We suck
I'm gonna tell you what. It's 9 o'clock and I haven't eaten dinner. I'm gonna bug out of here.
All right,
okay,
hey,
sir.
Steve, we'll talk soon.
Let's keep in touch, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you.
I appreciate all of you. Wiener,
Good seeing you again,
Steve.
Steve.
You forever.
Yep. Oh yeah, no, that's where I got the shirt from. Last time I saw you was probably about 3
9
years ago.
We're going on our 13th year now.
Jeez.
Wait a minute.
Yep.
Okay,
Steve. Wow.
Thanks for coming on the show, sir.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate all of you.
I'll see you again soon.
Have a good night. All right, take care.
There you
So so the area that the infamous porta potty and me shooting you in the battle bug, yeah, that is that area we're making sure that we have access to that as well. That's been converted, so there's small arms training over there, so I want to make sure that we can actually get it. But from there all the way over to the airfield is all ours, so not just the prison. And what that does include is that for the very first time ever, we're actually able to use what used to be called the villages or ISO camp. It's actually called the village now. Used to be called ISO camp. That's what used to be used for camping,
Administration and
the
camping.
barracks and admin and vendor row and all that. That is now playable. So that whole inner area there is all playable now. The prison, obviously, all of that is playable. All behind all of that entire area behind it, all playable. The field off to the left of the prison, that whole area is playable. Going over to the farm, yes, there you go.
Why does it sound like it's going to fall apart?
It sounds like he's driving into Detroit.
With a grenade in his hand. Yep, that's about right.
At this point, Papa runs inside of the porta potty to hide.
To pee. Just so happened I got the hide.
Do this again.
Going back for more?
Going back for more?
I think you're going over the 10-mile-an-hour speed limit a little.
No, look at the speed limit. It actually
Battery's
says
dying.
10.
Fuck.
It just looks a lot faster with the bug.
You just drive by Nade.
Yes.
We're dead.
I think I'm more upset you weren't blasting "Let the Bodies Hit the Floor" while doing this.
There was no radio in that bug, sir.
That's the original bug, the first one.
Yep.
Anyway, Clash of Titans. Tell me
So-
more.
Right.
I'm
So
just showing you
the entire now this is the first event of its kind. In that the purpose behind the event. It's funny. The purpose behind the event has been slightly shifted thanks to one of the members. This was the original intent of the event was Freddie Flux from VFA, so from Veterans for Airsoft, for years has wanted to be able to challenge Sal. He's wanted to be able to play against Sal Zuniga from TCA. He's not been able to do that. He was supposed to do that at what was going to be Overwatch 7, and there ended up not being an Overwatch 7. So he's waited years and years for that to occur. We put this on. Sal promised he'd be there. Talked to Freddie about it. Got them together. That's why it's called Clash of the Titans. That's why it's Ares versus Poseidon, because it's Army, Navy, VFA, TCA, Sal versus Freddie. Now, there has been a change, but only a minor one. Sal got called in real life. He got called to go OC. So there's a good chance that he's not going to be able to be there. He did call out of retirement, though. He got Dale Papka to come out of retirement.
Yeah,
Who is a retired lieutenant colonel. Anybody that's been playing airsoft long enough has heard of him. He used to be with TCA. He's come out of retirement, and Sal is still going to be his S3. He's still going to help manage the operations and information side of the entire event, even if he's not able to be there. So if he does show up, he's going to be on field S3, but even beforehand, he's going to actually take care of all of it. So in essence, it is still Freddie versus Sal. Sal's just gotten the help now of Dale.
So he's got a stunt double.
Basically, yeah. Freddie's working on gathering his team. He's getting his XO, doing all that. We are some of the things that we're introducing for this event, which I'm very excited for. Number one, well, first of all, obviously there's going to be JTF mission. We got Echo 4 coming down to do the JTF mission Friday night. JTF missions are insane. Anybody that's looking for proper, like deep immersion, actual, touching, handling, whole thing, that's actually going to occur. That's Friday night. If we get enough demand for it, we'll try to push for a Saturday night as well. There's Saturday day game, Saturday night game, Sunday day game. That's all going to be in play. There are going to be technicals on the field. In regards to the technicals, I've said this before, we have a very strict rule set for them, and I will be on the field monitoring all of the technicals very closely. If I get complaints about them, if enough complaints come in, I will throw a technical off. Technicals are there specifically to enhance gameplay. If gameplay is not enhanced, if it's hindered, off they go. I don't care who they are or what the vehicle is. I don't care if it's a heavy weapons vehicle or if it's just a transport truck. Off you go. You're gone. They're there to help and enhance the game, not to hinder it. So, we on top of all of this, we're introducing a couple of new things. One of the new things we're introducing is our mobile aid stations. The mobile aid stations play like this. Each side gets 3, and they can be deployed however you want, a squad or a platoon or a company size, whoever wants to carry it. It's a single person pop-up tent. You get to wherever you want to lay it down, throw it out, pop it up. It's up. It's now in play. In order for it to be effective, there has to be a medic within 50 feet of any of the deployable aid stations, any of the mobile aid stations. The aid station is only a capturable objective if it's left unattended within 100 feet. Let's put it that way. So everybody can either be dead or if it's left unattended for 100 feet. It can then be captured, brought back for points, and then returned. In order for it to be moved, it has to be collapsed back down, and then can actually be picked up and moved. So you can go mobile, and as you move along different objectives, drop it down. There's your spawn point. We did this for effectiveness as well as efficiency. We don't want people having to sit around for 45 minutes waiting on a CASEVAC truck to bring them back to their spawn so that they can then walk another 2 miles to go back to where they were just fighting at. They can actually respawn right there. We also are going to have, we have the ability to manipulate the field by providing equipment. You guys are going to get mobile. You're getting camo nets with hard and soft cover, and you actually can call for that kind of drop. So you're going to actually be able to call your utility vehicle who can do essentially an equipment drop, and whatever grid you call, they'll drive out and they'll deliver. We have each side gets 4 25-foot long, 5-foot tall camo nets, and you're going to have plywood to go with them as well as stakes to prop them up. The plywood will equal hard cover. Just the camo net by itself will equal soft cover.
What?
So you're actually going to be able, in those wide open fields, you're going to have objectives. In order to do bounding maneuvers, you're going to have to get some cover. That's how you're going to be able to do that. So those are 2 things that we're introducing now that have not been introduced before. This event is very important to us to have this event this way. We want to try to give everything that's been done before here, and then some. I don't ever want this AO to get played out. There's actually an event happening this coming weekend there, and anybody going there, I want them to use this as a train up for Clash of the Titans. You're only getting 1/2 of the AO if you're going this weekend. The entire rest of the AO is going to be playable, and then there's so much more. We are also working on getting the Hilo right now, trying to gauge interest in that to make sure we're not overselling and underpricing or whatever. I don't want to get the Hilo out there just to have it out there. I want it to be effective. I want people to want it to be there. So if nobody wants it there, then we're not going to get it. It's not important enough for me just to do it for show. Okay. I'm trying to learn how to pitch here.
We know you've been catching for years.
I was gonna say it in my head. I was like, I've been a catcher for so many years. So it's we're actually really excited about it. I feel that putting something like this on, the purpose behind it, the amenities to it, the gameplay. I really feel like it's going to be something. We got a lot of local and national support as far as vendors and sponsors. We've got help from around Florida. VFA. Oh my God. So VFA is actually putting on. They're getting a dunk tank. So dunk tank's coming out. So Friday night before the event, there's going to be a dunk tank. There's going to be music and DJ, all kinds of stuff. We're trying to get multiple food trucks down there, not just the one. I know sometimes when there's only one, it's not enough for guys to come and get lunch and what have you, and actually be able to get back on the field. Free camping. There's going to be free camping down there. I have access to, and I haven't put them up yet because we don't have all of them yet. We have access to some of the housing. I'm trying to confirm the remaining condos, so I can actually announce all of that. Trying to do more, seeing if I can't get some more stuff brought in, some mobile housing brought in, some more people can stay on site. We will have multiple U-Hauls. Each side is going to get one utility vehicle, so it'll be a U-Haul that'll be for troop transport. And then there'll also be a CASEVAC vehicle that'll be driven by all vehicles are driven by admins. The CASEVAC is just constantly doing loops, picking people up, just going around and around and around, picking people up. Yes, sir.
Are you talking about these vehicles that you're talking about now are driven by?
Yes,
admins, right?
yeah. All U-Haul, all vehicles that are provided by DEO are staff driven. So your utility vehicles are staff driven. The CASEVAC vehicle is staff driven. Yeah, that's all staff driven.
Yes.
And they're provided for the use though of either side.
Will my expired license cause a problem?
That's not. I mean, if it were in Florida, no.
No.
When you hit
No.
wiener's age, you have to take a test every year.
Yeah, that's right. I do.
Oh my God.
And that's for work too. That's because of work. It's an online test every year.
So, yeah, like I said, we've listened from our own events. We've listened to what people want from having games and going and playing at other events, seeing what the next level could be. It's not even a matter of lack. It's not somebody lacking something. It's more of, okay, they did this. That was great. What's an improvement? So the next iteration of that, we knew we thought about the water bottle thing that, TCA Milsom West do. And that's great. That's how you revive without having to go all the way back to your spawn. What's another way? What's the next best way? So having deployable talks, having all that kind of stuff. To me, that added that next sense of realism without having to go all the way to, where Milsom West does a great job at true military simulation. You could spend hours without engagement because you're immersed. You're truly some people didn't want to pay for that. They wanted to pay for a firefight. They want to be part of the movie, not part of the Army. So I want to give them as much of that as possible. And I think that's what we're able to do.
No, it's, I mean, you were on a roll there, sir.
I was trying to get all the information I can out at once. It's that's my infomercial right there.
One of the things is that I've heard this like 2 or 3 times now. So it's like I have all the information. So it's like there's nothing for me to reject here. You know what it is? I just pulled a long string in your back and I just let you go.
Here, I can.
It's howdy doody time.
Little intermission for a short joke. Anyone?
Oh shit!
There you go.
Boo! You suck.
And Wiener, in case you haven't met her yet, here, come on, Loki. Here's
Hey, Loki. Hi, Loki.
You shut up, Cora. So
That's
this
not
is my
nice.
newest horse. Well,
Cora's been replaced. Cora's been replaced.
No, that's
Poor
the funny
thing.
thing. Is like these two have been playing all day together. So she is a sweetheart. She doesn't have one particular owner. She goes to each one of us. Like Damien's like still trying to convince us to let her sleep in the bed with her, with him. And the only reason why we haven't let that happen is she likes to push, and she's strong. I don't want her to push
Him off the bed.
him right off the bed. Yeah. So, and like I said, Cora's right here. She's just grumbly because of the fact that the other dog's here, and she's like, "I want my pettins too." There, you got your pettins. Here, come here. You want up?
Come on, Hunter.
Come on. There you go. There you go. Oh, stop your. There, you got your pets. Get down.
Hey, Cora.
Don't. Hey,
Bite him. Bite him in
it's
the
not
nuts.
me she's growling at.
She's like getting jealous.
It's not so much as getting jealous; it's mostly about establishing dominance. And like Loki right now, if I let me pan the thing over. Loki's like, I don't give a shit about you right now. She's growling at her, and she's like looking outside at Hinge. It's hilarious. I mean, right now, Loki's doing the Great Dean lean on. Hey, stop it! That's not nice. Go outside. Go on. But I did not get a divorce over the dog, which was in itself like when I came home.
Hopefully, it was a good thing.
It was a good thing. When I came home and I brought this dog that I did not tell her I was bringing home, she comes outside. She doesn't know what type of dog it is because it was pitch black outside. It's a black dog. So she just saw that Tinker was holding a leash and she went back inside. So I was like, all right, bring her inside. We'll go out back. We'll start introducing dogs. And in about 10 minutes, I brave the waters and I go into the room. And I said, you need to come outside and meet her. She goes, tell me it's not a Great Dane. I said, you just need to come outside and meet her. She goes, tell me it's not a Great Dane. I was like, you just need to come outside and meet her. She goes, tell me it's not a Great Dane. I was like, all right, I won't tell you. She goes outside. Star goes outside to see this dog. And Loki just comes up and just puts her head right inside of Star's lap and then leans up against her. And that was it. And then not 10 minutes later, I have a video of Star playing with her in bed. And the dog's like all rubbing up on her and everything else. So, yeah, she's got a permanent home here. So what I do is for 7 years, I build up a get out of divorce free card, right? 7 years it takes me to earn a get out of divorce free. And then I bring a dog home because it's not the first time I've done this. I did it 7 years ago. I think it was November 19th or whatever. So,
Oh my God.
shit we do at Airsoft. But I'm really glad you got the Force Center going, sir. I'm glad you're back, that you came back on the channel to hang out with us and talk. It's been a minute since you've been on.
Yes.
You know, for the 1 hour infomercial for the D-Hop barrel.
That was awesome, though.
Good interaction with Steve on that one. I really did appreciate it. But no, I literally, I wanted to, I've been meaning to show that. I want to use that one picture that I shared as part of the advertisement for it, because that is, I mean, I haven't seen a more intricate patch than that anywhere. And I would challenge anybody to patch a barrel like that. It's, that's probably the most challenging one. That is the most challenging one I've ever done. And it came out beautifully.
We've been saying it before, and we'll say it again. The stuff that you're doing there is absolutely fantastic, and a lot of people just don't really.
I missed a chat.
We missed you, Greg, mainly because I'm 6'4". So it's like when I was at SNS Airsoft. God damn, I did it again. SS Airsoft. It almost should be an SNS because of G&G. That's where my head is at.
We
walked in
Toyota around here.
SS. I mean, that community is pretty damn awesome. And the only thing I wish was that if his field was twice its size it is now, it'd be the perfect field with the stuff that he has on there. If it's twice the size,
It's all indoor.
All indoor.
All indoor.
What's the square footage? Do you know?
10,000 square feet of the field. Yeah. But when you look at it here, I'll pull it up so you guys can see pictures. When I say they put, it was a Hollywood set designer that did the field, right? Virtue.
Yeah. No, he got his money worth, and I wish I had that kind of money.
I'm just
Now,
so here.
for everybody that's been asking about DEO's field, I've got the numbers for what it's going to cost me, and I've got a couple of locations that I'm looking at doing. It's you know, for anybody hoping that I speed this along, a $2 million project doesn't happen overnight. No, yeah. It's not gonna. It's. I would love for it to be just a couple of months, and I'm working really hard at that. But that I mean, this is the first time I've done something at that scale. But when it's done, we're talking about 40 to 45 acres with a 40,000 square foot building. 35 of that is playable. So 35,000 square feet playable indoor and 35 acres of playable outdoor. And it's going to be a hybrid field.
Hybrid field.
So, yeah. So, I mean, again, and it's going to be accessible. That's what's the more difficult, more expensive piece is making it accessible to people. I could put it out in the middle of nowhere, just like my last field was, and took, forever to get there and it's impossible to find, but made it affordable. Or I can actually bring it to the people and, do what I got to do to make it happen. So that's what we're working on now, is to do that.
So that's just one of the pictures of the field. I mean, and I think that's even a dated picture.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find some other good pictures of the field. I mean, it while it's small when you're playing on there, it does not feel small. Well, it does, but at the same time, gameplay goes fast because you're going back and forth. But like, is this the one I wanted to pull up?
If he starts selling D-Hop barrels at his store, he's gonna have to increase the size of his field.
I mean, as it is right now, I mean, we shoot from one end to the field to the other, which it's stop sharing. Which is it is what it is. I mean, you can only do so much with what you have, but he does bring, like, I have, out of all the indoor fields with all the speedy boys and everything else, that's like one of the few fields I get in arguments in. Like, last time I was there was like a brief argument because I clearly shot a dude 3 times. I knew I got him, and I went like that to him, and I walked back, and I came around, and I came through a corner, and when I did, I went to say surrender, but I jerked forward saying surrender, and I accidentally pulled the trigger, and I hit him in his belt, right? So I didn't even hit him in a spot that hurt, and I apologized immediately. He started acting like a dick, so I said, hey, well, you didn't call your hit anyway, so que se sera. And then I went off the field, and I told the admin right off, I said, hey, I accidentally shot somebody within 10 feet, but the guy wasn't calling hits, and he goes, show me the footage. And I was like, oh, yeah, you guys do that here, don't you? So I showed the footage. I was like, so they went up and had a conversation with the guy, and the guy came back, and he's like, he goes, I called my hit. I called my hit. It's like, you didn't get called your hit. You got called out. And the ref was right there, and he says, no, I called you out because I saw you got hit, and you didn't call your hit. So I was like, and I apologize for the front. He goes, yeah, well, you should be shooting that close. I was like, dude, I came around. I was like, you know what? I went like that. And then the admin goes, he's not wrong with what he did. He apologized for a mistake. What you did was intent. And then they took him off to the side to have a conversation with him. And I'm like, that's the sort of stuff that I like. If I bring you something or I say something and you actually take action on it, it's really cool. Because I wasn't doing it to be malicious, because I admitted that I screwed up. But yeah, I'm looking forward to when you get your shop open there, sir. Your
field.
The only reason I've even considered moving because of Papa.
Say again?
Only reason I even considered moving to Florida was because of you.
No, you just want to get away from the snow. Shut up.
I'm never here for the snow anyway.
Yeah, he's always gone. He's somewhere else.
This, honestly, it's not so much a dream. It's just a matter of the time it's going to take to make it happen. From a business standpoint, there's not an inkling of concern for the money. I know that because it's never been about money for me. It's more of being able to do it to this scale because I've never done anything on that scale before. That's a lot. That's a lot of money, and it's a lot of building, and it's a lot of moving parts. And when the whole thing's done, the intent is the indoor will be open 7 days a week. The outdoor will be open every weekend. That's a lot. That's a lot more than what I've got going on right now. And it's, but the truth is, being able to bring that out is incredibly exciting for me. Being able to present that to the community is incredibly exciting. I'm not. It's the time is just honestly my lack of experience at that level. That's what it is.
Changing the subject just a second here. Wolfman had a question about the thoughts on this the SEMA Platinum 9mm Rapid Strike pistol caliber
Yes.
carbine.
Yeah, so I've looked over this thing repeatedly, and I'm going to be real with you. The only upside to this gun are two. The
Wake up, Wiener.
aluminum frame and the fact that it takes MP5 mags. If you have a bunch of MP5 mags, hey, go for it. But out of the box, there's really nothing special.
Oh shit.
It's got the QBS system, which allows for rapid spring changes. It's only
Yes,
rapid
okay,
if you
the
happen to
typer.
have the tool on hand. It's still not, in my opinion, for it to be a true rapid spring change system, they're claiming it should require no tools.
Did we talk about this once before?
We talked about the other version of it. This is their newer one.
Oh, okay.
That one was the 5.56 version of it. This is their
Okay.
9mm version, which literally all they did was change the lower. Again, it's version 2 full metal gearbox, but at this point in time, that's not a bragging right or an upgrade. That's standard. Again, it's MP5 and I think Mod 5 mags if you've got the Tokyo Marie. Other than that, it's nothing really special for $390 or $400.
I'm not. Yeah, I don't have a lot. Oh, wait. This is that QBS.
Yeah,
No, you don't. That's the one you don't need a tool for. Isn't that the same one that originally came out in the what is it?
they say you don't need a tool. With the
MK47 or whatever
spring,
the thing was called.
yeah, they say you don't need a tool, but to apply any pressure to that spring to turn it,
Uh-huh.
you need a tool.
Yeah.
Like if there wasn't a spring under pressure, sure, you could put your thumb and turn it and pull it out. But there's so much pressure behind the spring, it's not really tools.
Yeah. And it doesn't seem to say what kind of. It claims a MOSFET, but it doesn't claim trigger system, so it might just be MOSFET to control power. I don't know what it's running as far as MOSFET goes. It doesn't say.
Yeah, I can't find anywhere listed on any of the documentation, whether it be from the manufacturer or e-bike who's selling this thing, as the EMG is the big push behind it, on what the motor actually is, what the gear ratio actually is, or what the MOSFET is.
Yeah, it's
And in my personal opinion, when they don't tell me these things, it's because they're usually crap.
for that kind of money. I don't want to say I'd be weary, but for lack of better phrasing, I'd be weary for that kind of money. It's got a tanker. It's got a tanker stock, EMG flash hider. Generic flash hider. I don't know. It looks cool. But nothing special. So for $340, do I see it as being anything special? I would say no. But it looks neat. So if you care about that, which is really all airsoft is something that looks neat as long as it functions, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can get MP5 mags for between $10 and $12 now.
Yeah, they got
Um,
the straight line mags now are like 18, but if you want straight ones.
Yeah. So again, if you don't already have an SMG and you want to get into an SMG, it's not bad. I wouldn't pay close to $400 for it, but I've got.
Yeah. If you're looking for something neat, that's SMG that isn't going to break the bank and actually comes with features. We just started carrying. I don't know if you've seen them or not. It's uh, a Matrix double eagle. It's called the Falcon, and it basically is like a mini Masada. It comes in a nylon and a full metal version.
All right, you just said two companies together that usually give me an aneurysm.
Yep, you're absolutely
Matrix
right.
and Double Eagle.
Yep,
What is the build quality?
Especially the all metal, fantastic.
Yeah.
Really sturdy, like very, very sturdy. It's the stock itself is collapsible stock, folding stock, rising cheek pad. Ambidextrous charging handle, metal slide release, metal bolt. Comes with a programmable electronic trigger unit, so you can change safe, semi, burst, full, and choose your burst mode. All stock, and the all metal one is 260. The nylon polymer is 185. Yep.
Honestly, that's not a horrible price point.
We've sold 6 or 7 of them already. We run them through the test here in the shop. Especially for the price, they're actually fantastic. They just, I got it because it was super cheap, and I wanted to see what they were all about because it looked neat. We got them in and couldn't believe the quality. Like, granted, trust me, I know Matrix and Double Eagle both. Double Eagle is known for having fitment issues, stuff like that, like their tolerances and all that.
Yeah.
Not
No,
at all.
Matrix actually, just got this. It is Matrix Aeronox.
That looks nice.
Yeah, so it's full metal construction, upper lower. Actually has a MOSFET. It's based off the Astra in it. Programmable trigger. It is probably one of the snappiest things out the box I've ever played with. And it was Matrix, which made me pause. And then they told me it was $180. And I went, And he's like, here, take it and go shoot it. So I took it, I shot it.
Here, I don't know how to share links. I guess I could send it to you private. Evic actually is carrying this, obviously, since it's Matrix, but check that out. And it's a 45 cal, by the way. I forgot to mention that. It's an SMG. It's 45. But yeah, I mean, they're all starting to step up. You know, I just got the new KSG shotgun in.
That's probably because more and more airsofters are starting to become more savvy of consumers for quality and all that.
I like to think that Matrix and Double Eagle looked at each other like their CEOs went, we both suck. Maybe together we could suck less.
I just want to make you all jealous. I'm having brisket right now.
I want to make everyone jealous and let them know. Whoever sees this, most people don't know that this is happening, but there is a new HPA engine on the market. Anyone? No one? Good. I love dropping new news. It's called the Pulsar.
A couple were in development. I didn't know anything hit the market.
And one called it's called the Pulsar, and it is made by Gate.
Oh. Yeah, the Gate. Yeah, I was trying to think of the main company behind it. I was like, are you talking about the Gate?
Did they actually hit the market? What?
Mm-hmm. And it actually comes paired with the Titan 2,
the Bluetooth model.
Yeah, not Blue Link either. True Bluetooth on board. And it is the only. Now I don't know how good the engine is, so I'm not talking about the engine. I'm actually talking about the interoperability with its trigger. It's the only one that's programmable in the way that it is because it's a gate. So where Wolverine does great with the engines and all that kind of stuff, and I know that as a fact, where all engines are lacking is their programmability compared to their AEG partners, their AEG counterparts rather. And now
Wait.
Uh-oh.
go on.
$340 is all they're asking for this?
Oh, did I leave that part out? For the trigger unit and the engine, yes.
I gotta go throw some stuff away.
Here, let me help you with one more thing. I had been trying to figure out a way to make an HPA version of something. There was something I had in mind, and I wasn't sure how I was going to do it. And now I figured it out. I was trying to figure out a proper way of HPAing a vector. Because right now, the HPA vector is done by junkies, but you lose burst mode. Keep thinking.
Oh, I'm thinking.
And there you go. Yep. And it's the size of an F2.
It looks smaller than an F2.
Single solenoid instead of the dual solenoid, like was it a Fusion?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Fusion's got. Is it the Fusion that has two, and the F2 that has one?
Dual solenoid. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So it's the size of the F2, single solenoid, and comes paired with the Titan 2. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. My application has already been put in to I put it in a while back, and I resubmitted to be an authorized reseller. Where did he go? Thought he went and sold stuff.
He's right there. See, I can. He has the power now to take himself in and out of stuff. I also have the power to bring him back. Yeah. So this is hey Greg, I got your newest mount for you. She's right here. We're just gonna get her a little saddle.
I'll go for a ride. Don't matter to me. I'm good with that.
This dog is hilarious, though. All right. Well, Wiener, you haven't said much this stream.
Well, it's been a long day at work. I left the house at 6 this morning and got home at 8:30. So I went to Disney to set up a show, then left from Disney, went straight to Port St. Lucie.
Nice.
Yeah. 300 miles, pretty much.
We have a new hosting site
Yes, I noticed it.
Thing now. So this is the
I
one
just
we're
gotta
probably
figure out how to change the background screens because it's kind of cutting off some of the images.
She said no. Got on my knees and everything.
I'll get a couple in. So, are you guys? Well, Joker, you wouldn't be. I'm not. Any of the new Wolverine products? You familiar with anything that they did?
With the Billet series or the
no? With so the Wraith X. You know, one of my favorite things has been the Wraith.
Well, with the use of the CO2.
Yeah, the new Wraith X. Basically, it's it's the Storm integrated, and you can put a 12 same. Just buy the Wraith X, doesn't matter, and you can put 12 gram, 33 gram, or bottle all into the same thing. That's it. That's all you need. Just buy the stock, and it's done. That's all there is. That's why I got mad at Rich when I found out that was coming out, because I took the Storm in grip and turned it into an inline in the stock, or in the buffer tube. I made my own buffer tube out of it, as the regulator, and then I screwed a bottle right into it in the back to turn it into a tank stock. And then he went ahead and did that. So,
Took your idea.
well, I wouldn't say that much, but yeah, he took all my hard work and went, no, you know what? We're just gonna automate that. Here you go. So I got a bunch of those in. I got a bunch of stuff in to
Did you get the new series MTWs in? Any of those or?
which ones? I've got a couple
Well,
up on the wall.
you got the billet series. You got the.
I got the 9s. I got do we have I think we have one billet left. I gotta look and see. But yeah, we're trying. I mean, I got right now in flight, there's just about $14,000 in flight now coming to the shop for Christmas. Would love to sell all of it, so guys, please come on out. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming in, a lot of stuff, and a whole bunch of new stuff. Trying at least.
Stop.
I have one AK on the wall.
Just one, huh?
Which is one more than I normally carry. It's the Arcturus AK. It's actually pretty cool. The way the top comes off, they did a nice job. Can't argue with it.
Nice.
All right. So the real question is, Papa, how much money will you give me if I get a DEO tattoo?
If you
Oh,
is
wow.
this your trying? So $340 for a D. Is that what you need? Just to go back and buy a gate engine?
Dude, I'll get it next week, man. Don't fuck around.
That's pretty funny. Oh man.
Wow.
Yeah, I like.
I have
Is
to think
Pat
about that.
lagging, or did Stu just run out of comments?
Stu ran out of comments.
He's quiet now. He's just tired, like the rest
Oh,
of us.
sorry. We got a weird segue there. So in summation, for the SEMA 9mm Rapid Strike, it's not a bad gun. It's not an amazing gun. Personally, I'm not paying $400 for that.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm there with you. Yeah, it's it takes a lot for me to pay $400 for any gun. It really has to be something special, and I didn't see anything that made that really stand out to require it being $400.
No, not really. Like right
But I
now on
haven't
my
touched
wish
either,
list,
so.
it's like so far on my wish list is the Whirlpool Bunny, which I'm getting from Papa, the Macron, and the silencer. If you haven't seen Crytek's first foray into airsoft pistols,
We actually have one of those or two of those on the way.
yeah, that I'm interested to get my hands on because I've heard about the upgradability and the customization of the frame, not so much the internals, and it's perfect to either make a duplicate of Winona from Farscape,
I know what you're
or
talking about.
yeah, or one of the, if anybody remembers Jason of Star Command, I know I'm dating myself here with this one.
Jason of Star Command. Wow.
Jason of Star Command, the pistols that the officers had, it lends itself to being modified that way. More or less, I really want to make Winona from Farscape. If you haven't seen Farscape, shame on you.
Yeah, I was a closet geek for so long, not a nerd. There's so many things I missed out on. I fixed computers, I didn't play on them, so I lost all of that. Closest thing I did watch Firefly. So
You've never seen Farscape?
Nah, and it never mattered to me. I never got into it.
The game.
Okay, here's why you're gonna love Farscape. Every science fiction that everybody else has formed a cult or a religion around, Star Wars, Star Trek, whatever it may be, Farscape makes fun of it in the best way possible. There's an entire sequence where he meets these aliens for the first time. They give him clothes, and he says, "I'm not going to wear the red shirt." And they're like, "Why? What's wrong with the red shirt?" He's like, "I'm not wearing a red shirt."
Stop that. Stop it. Lay down.
But Farscape was science fiction done by Jim Henson.
Yeah. Yeah, all the creatures were done by Jim Henson.
It's
Maybe
an
I'll-
amazing show.
Maybe I'll have to go back. Most good shows I end up going back about a decade later and watching. It took me until 2015, 2016 to watch The Wire. So you know, I got to go back and I watched some of these shows long after.
Yeah, I couldn't watch The Wire. I lived in that part of Baltimore, and the show, if I had not lived there, I would have liked the show. The problem with the show was they took the nicest parts of Baltimore and made them look crappy because they didn't want to shoot the show in the bad parts of Baltimore.
Well, to be fair,
You know, you shoot a movie, you get shot at. All right. No, it's like in Babylon 5's getting a remake now. Oh, hey Cal. Here.
actually, there's a remake that they shouldn't have done, and I am mad. Damn it! They should not have remade Quantum Leap. Scott,
did you watch Quantum Leap though?
The
Have you
original?
watched-
Hell yeah, I did.
No, I did too. But did you watch the new one yet?
I got about halfway through the first episode.
Yeah, it took me 2-3 episodes, and I actually like it. It's actually pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I'll give it another.
Yeah, give it a go because the storyline's actually pretty good. I
I'm
like
too
how
busy watching season 2 of Wu-Tang Clan. So listen, if Wiener, I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter to you, but like that's my era. That's when I grew up, and I very familiar with all that. Watching the story behind it and watching how the entire Wu-Tang Clan came together is fascinating. Absolutely, and they did such a good job. RZA did such a good job writing it. It's absolutely fascinating.
And I'm going to raise you one, sir. You're incorrect. The one show they should have never rebooted or remade was that abomination known as Team Knight Rider.
Okay, all right, okay. Well, if you're gonna do that, you got to go back. They never should have made the movie where Kit was a '57 Chevy. There's so many things they never should have done. You're absolutely right. So they should have left it where it was.
All right. Instead of going down this nostalgia road here, we are getting right towards the. Now that's not me doing that. That's him putting it up for everybody to see.
I read it already, and I'm these are all leaps for these guys. They're trying their ass off to make a short joke that sticks, and they just missing it every mark. But they can keep trying. It's okay.
So, with all that being said, thank you all for coming on tonight. We had a great talks about SNS Airsoft.
SS Airsoft.
SS Airsoft.
Do it every time, man. Do it every time.
You must be more German about it. It's SS.
See, it even says it on the patch or on the shirt. SS.
No, we're not going to make that joke there. Oh, I'm actually going to go in and mute that from Virtue at the end of the stream.
Well, that's actually what I was thinking. The lightning bolts in my head and everything.
That's not a.
Sorry, SS Airsoft is awesome.
Ow! SS Airsoft, great field, great community, great people, tons of a lot of stuff there for everybody to go through. We had the hour-long infomercial for the D-Hop barrel. Talked quite a bit about the one thing I didn't talk about was like Rev 12. I will be at Rev 12 this weekend. I'm actually smoking the brisket now to get it nice and ready. So here's a nice juicy piece of the brisket. That's almost
around behind you to steal it.
Oh yeah, they all are. They all are. They're all like, "Yo, what's that you got over there?" We want to thank Papa for coming back on the show. It's been a while, so
I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
He comes on and takes over the channel, see how it is. But really, I want to thank everybody for coming on. I want to thank everybody for watching. We are using this new service now from Streamlabs called Melon. We are going to see how this works.
It's interesting how like one person cuts out or a different person. Like that was interesting.
Well, that's actual live things that I can do on the fly like this. That's a little bit better and a little bit easier. And then what I really like is that. So if two people are talking together, we can simply put it that way so everybody else still feels they're involved. One of the things that does not work I guess I could have set it up this way and all three could have been on, is there's not a good system set up for all 5 people, like for more than 4 people to have a nice predominant thing up there, which,
actually didn't look too bad when you brought me on when Steve was still on. It didn't look too bad. It didn't sound bad at all. He didn't.
Now,
Good for you.
there's
Joker.
gonna, huh?
2.5 years later, you're still breaking up.
This is gonna be a not so nice conversation with Xfinity tomorrow.
You keep
Uh,
saying it's. Never mind. God, close your
No,
stream.
they were supposed to fix this last week. I was on
1910,
the
it's
phone with them.
1910 error, and it's the problems between the keyboard and the floor.
Yes. Yes.
So good. Yes. Oh, damn. I came back.
So I do want to thank everybody for sitting here watching us. There's actually a couple other cool features that we now have. Intro that is automatic when we start. It automatically starts the timer. When we go, we'll see if this actually works as well. So they have intros and outros. They have a lot of bit better features. So we're going to be using this a lot more. But until next time, I'm Joker from Players Wanted. With me is the man with the biggest heart and shortest statue because I'm reading his freaking shirt. So with me is the man of the biggest heart and shortest statue, Greg Paparisi from Dead End Outfitters. The man with the mohawk, the king of the high kappas, virtuous, sinister customs. And it's not a party till the wiener comes out, wiener. And until next time, may your BBs fly true and your opponents always call your hits. Good night.
Good night. Cha 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 cha. Oh, you can't have the discussion offline?